A millennium ago, the world fractured, unleashing monsters from spatial rifts. Humanity's only defense became the Beastmaster's warriors, fighting alongside monster allies. Now picture being reborn into this world. You're a high school kid with an E-rank beast, the absolute bottom of the barrel. But a secret lies dormant inside that weak frame, the soul of a legendary assassin. And while others mock his tiny lizard, he's already scheming to evolve it into a creature that will cast a shadow of terror over the entire world. 1,000 years passed, spatial tears ripped open across Earth, spewing forth hordes of demonic spirits. Under the glow of a blood-red moon, the age of monsters had dawned. These behemoths began a relentless campaign of destruction across the planet. No human weapon could even scratch them. In just 10 years, Earth's population plummeted to a mere 100 million. As humanity teetered on the edge of annihilation, a single ray of hope appeared, the Spirit Beast Master. By forming pacts with spirit beasts, humanity finally found the power to fight back. As generations of masters honed their skills, civilization was slowly rebuilt from the ashes. Securing a fighting chance against the monstrous tide, hope was rekindled. Lin Yuan, the Resistance's deadliest assassin, was killed in action only to be reborn in a world where monsters and humans coexisted. He became the weakest E-rank spirit beastmaster imaginable. But who said E-rank was his final stop? He was handed a useless-looking black lizard, named Xiao Hailong, who boldly declared it would supervise his growth and ensure he became stronger. Despite this pathetic start, he resolved to rise to the very pinnacle of power. It all began on an ordinary day as the main character flew on a plane. His superiors patched in requesting a routine status update. He glanced at the pile of bodies he'd just created and coolly reported that all targets were neutralized. His handler praised his speed, just what you'd expect from a top-tier mercenary. Suddenly, a deafening roar shook the aircraft. The MC went on high alert, demanding to know what was happening. His superior's voice turned cold. He'd served the organization well for years, but he simply knew too much. Take your secrets to the grave. The plane erupted in a fireball. When the MC next opened his eyes, he was in a grimy, unfamiliar alleyway. He checked his body in confusion, wondering, where am I? Wasn't he just obliterated in that explosion? A piercing pain shot through his skull. It felt like his brain was being scrambled. The agony was so intense he slammed his own head against the pavement. A flood of information crashed into his mind, knowledge of this world, of the endless war with monsters, and of the beast soul masters. Over time, more and more people awakened their spirits with each new generation. Beast soul masters passed down and refined their abilities, allowing humanity to build a new civilization, capable of standing against the monsters. People had hope once more, but every awakened beast is ranked from the lowly E rank to the godlike SSS rank, and he had been reborn into the body of Lin Yuan, a boy at the very bottom, an orphan with no friends to his name. His only path forward was his beast soul, but he was constantly mocked and humiliated for it. He was nothing but trash tossed aside by the world, so he thought, I've been reincarnated. A strange mercy from God, considering how brutally his last life ended. Just then, an image of the body's previous owner, the original Lin Yuan, appeared before him. The spirit asked softly, were you betrayed too? At that moment, the MC found himself paralyzed. Yuan continued, his voice hollow. If that's the case, then just let me have this cruel world. The MC retorted, just giving up seems pretty pathetic. Don't you want revenge? The spirit replied that he was already dead. You're just some loser who stole my body. To which the MC shot back, pathetic doesn't mean weak. Why should we just roll over and let this world dictate our fate? Why can't we rewrite the rules and forge our own path? Yuan asked. Why keep living only to be betrayed and die again? Isn't the pain too much? What hurts, the MC countered, is having no choice. But now I plan to live by my own rules. Lin Yuan touched his forehead. Nice words. But if you stay in this trash body, you'll just end up exactly like me. I'll still try, he declared. I'll prove that even trash can reach the summit. I'll show this world that my fate is in my own hands. Yuan paused. You really are a strange one. He closed his eyes and the MC braced himself, thinking, am I going to die again? But Yuan caused him no harm. The spirit faded away, asking only that he keep his word and get revenge for him. From that day forward, the assassin would carry his name. The MC felt control, returned to his limbs. He stood up, vowing silently, don't worry, I'll keep my promise. But the question remained, how was he supposed to get stronger? The harsh reality of this world is that low-ranking beast owners are relegated to low-paying menial jobs, just barely scraping by. Of course, if things got desperate, he could always fall back on his old deadly profession. A system prompt echoed in his mind. His beast had been awakened. He was now the master of the beast evolution system. His companion was a mere E-rank black lizard. It was only in its immature stage, with just two basic skills, bite and claw strike. He stared at the system window, stunned as a lizard materialized before him and introduced itself as Xiao Hailong. It vowed to grow stronger alongside him. Yuan could only ask, so, this is my beast. Hailong confirmed it, declaring them partners bound by an unbreakable trust, destined for greatness. As Yuan grabbed his things to leave the alley, Hailong cried out, "Where are you going? Aren't you going to ask what I can do for you?" "I'll ask when the time comes," he replied, coolly focused on a more important matter. Hailong scurried after him, eager to help. "Just say the word and I'll do anything," it pleaded. But just then, Yuan spotted the bully from before cornering his friend Su Muxue. The thug sneered. "Think you can keep running?" Muxue retorted. "What do you want?" He shoved a bouquet at her, demanding she go out with him. She scoffed. "You really think I'm interested in you? I know you have an S-rank beast," he bragged, "but you just awakened it, and I brought a couple of B-rank friends to play." "You don't deserve anything," she seethed. He just laughed. "Besides, I already took care of that idiot friend of yours." Her heart sank. "What did you do to him?" she demanded. He smirked. "He was a fool to cross me. Now it's just us," he leered, "and you have no choice but to say yes." In a flash, a shadow moved. Someone blew past his guard and seized him by the throat. Muxue gasped. It was her friend Lin Yuan. A cold grin spread across his face as he said, "Finally found you." In an instant, all four of his guards lunged at Yuan from behind. But he moved like liquid, using the bully's back as a springboard to leap aside. The thugs turned to face him. Their boss slammed face first onto the pavement and screamed, "Kill him." The hulking brutes advanced threateningly on Lin Yuan. Their bodies began to twist and morph into monstrous beasts, an elephant, a buffalo, a rhino, and a wolf. "So they just look like animals," Yuan mused. "Can I do that?" Hailong reminded him. "Your beast is just an ordinary lizard. Absorbing others grants evolution points," it explained, "and winning a fight earns you a reward chest." Yuan asked, "Do I even need to transform?" Hailong was shocked. "What, you want to fight them in your human body? That's insane. They'll kill you in one hit." But Yuan calmly replied, "If I transform, I'll die even faster." In his past life, he was an assassin. Meanwhile, the bully raged. "What are you all waiting for? Get him," he commanded. A massive wolf pounced on Yuan, its claws aiming to kill. The bully laughed maniacally. "We'll tear you to pieces," he shrieked. But that wasn't going to happen. Yuan vaulted onto the beast's back, grabbed its head, and snapped its neck. He landed lightly on his feet. Muxue was speechless. He defeated a B-rank beast with his bare hands. He was so strong. Good, Yuan thought to himself. My skills haven't faded, even if this body is much weaker. Hailong cheered. "You defeated the beast." A system notification popped up. "You've received a black iron chest. Chests can hold amazing items like super equipment or skill points," Hailong said. Lin Yuan immediately chose to open it. Seeing the reward, Hailong shouted with joy, a random skill book. It could be anything from rank E to A. The chance for an A rank is only 1%. As he used the book, Yuan just hoped it wasn't the lowest rank. Of course, he hit the jackpot. An A rank skill, Daylight. Hailong gasped. "That will activate your beast soul. It can emit a white light hot enough to melt steel. Its max temperature hits 100,000 degrees Celsius. The skill fused with his body instantly." "You're one lucky guy," the lizard marveled. "Seriously, we should buy a lottery ticket." But Hailong pointed to the other beasts. "Now isn't the time to celebrate." The bully screamed for his subordinates to attack. "I'll give you 10 million to kill him," he bribed. A worried Muxue offered to help. "Stay back," he told her, thinking, "She was one of the few who was ever kind to me. I won't let her get hurt." Just then, the elephant beast charged its massive trunk, swinging wildly. He weaved left and right effortlessly, dodging its blows before closing the distance and grabbing its trunk. He slammed his fist into its head with all his strength, then kicked its back, sending it crashing into the wall. Another victory, another black iron chest. A cold smile formed on Yuan's lips as he thought, "Don't think I'm the same Yuan you knew." Then he charged. He moved so fast he was just a blur appearing behind them before they could even notice. He smashed their heads together with brutal force. The bully threw his hands up in terror, screaming, "This can't be happening." The guy begged Yuan for mercy, but he declared it was far too late. After handling the offender, he told the girl it was time to go. His power was overwhelming. She followed him, sparing one last glance at the fool. Thinking he probably wouldn't be a problem anymore, shame washed over her. As an S-rank beast, Soul Master, she was supposed to protect him, but he ended up saving her. She never imagined he was this powerful. He asked if she was okay, questioning her intense stare. She quickly looked away, completely flustered, and stammered out a thank you, apologizing for dragging him into her mess. He just told her not to worry. They were classmates, so they should look out for each other. Upset, she mumbled. She thought they were friends. He didn't catch it, so she forced a smile and waved goodbye, saying she'd see him at school tomorrow. Then she darted away, wondering what was wrong with her, as Hailong remarked on his incredible luck. Our main character told him to cut the nonsense. She was a friend of the body's original owner. Now that it was his, he was obligated to protect her. It was time to get down to business. Hailong shivered, thinking that for a former assassin, Yuan's tone and piercing gaze were genuinely terrifying. The moment Yuan got home, he activated his beast soul and transformed into a tiny lizard. Hailong barely stifled a laugh, mocking that in the monster world. He was a light snack at best. The main character stared at his form, realizing why. His beast soul was considered absolute trash. Heilang decided to offer some guidance. He could absorb and collect ascension points, and then use them to empower himself. He just got points from the chest. Yuan asked what he meant by absorb, and pointing to the fridge, Heilang said he just had to eat. Specifically, he needed to devour meat. Beast souls are essentially just like regular animals. They require lots of protein. He had to keep in shape and eat it raw. Yuan pulled a raw chicken from the fridge and stared. It looked completely unappetizing. Heilang urged him to eat up, promising he'd get stronger instantly. Our hero braced himself all for the sake of leveling up. He then sank his teeth into the chicken's neck. After gorging himself on the raw meat, Heilang excitedly announced he'd successfully absorbed it and gained 5 ascension points. Yuan commanded him to use the points, and his bloated stomach vanished as his body grew a little. He cheered, demanding more meat immediately. Tonight was going to be an all-out meat feast. The next day dawned, and the results of his feast were insane. He'd evolved into a large black lizard, a B-rank, 7-star combat beast. Sitting in class, our main character noted his beast's new larger size. He hadn't expected his talent to increase along with his level. While he wasn't a total weakling anymore, it wasn't enough. He had to get more points, and once he got bigger, he'd need a private spot to avoid unwanted attention. Reborn into this world, he would rise to the very top. His grand ambitions were interrupted by the bully Li Feng and his lackey Zhang Lei. The pair constantly tormented the old Yuan. He shot them, an annoyed look, wondering why they were such clowns. With them was Wu Muxuan, the user of one of the school's 2 S-rank beast souls. The 2 bullies shouted at Yuan, asking how many times they had to tell him. They told him to hurry up and stop making them wait. He should feel honored. They even let him run errands for them. The main character glared, telling them to get lost. Fueled by rage, he snapped his pen in half. The lackey yelled, "What crap are you spouting?" Yuan shot back. "Are you deaf or something?" Wu Muxuan sneered that the weakest E-rank beast soul was acting bold today. He could crush his lizard without trying, so he shouldn't get cocky. Trash belongs in the bin. It was a disgrace that their school even had a weakling like him. If he were in Yuan's shoes, he'd have found a ditch to die in. Yuan calmly told him that unfortunately, he planned on living a long and happy life. Wu Muxuan leaned in his voice, a low threat promising to change his mind. He dared him to keep running his mouth. Just then, their homeroom teacher Zhang Yue walked into the classroom and ordered everyone to their seats. Wu Muxuan instantly pulled back, saying Yuan got lucky this time, but his luck was about to run out. Heilang commented with annoyance on how arrogant the guy was. Yuan was so composed. Heilang countered that as an S-rank soul beast, his arrogance was expected. Sooner or later, Yuan would put him in his place. He thought to speak such brutal words with a calm tone. It seemed he was really starting to act like a true master. Zhang Yue announced she would now distribute the school's cultivation resources known as Beast Soul Crystals. Yuan asked about them, and Heilang explained. Beast Soul Crystals. The crystallized essence of a monster's flesh and blood after its demise. They are ranked from high and medium down to low and worthless. Each one holds immense energy, perfect for empowering beast souls. They don't just help, they supercharge abilities. In the world of soul masters, these crystals are the ultimate currency. The higher the crystal's rank, the more astronomical the price. Even a single low-rank soul crystal is worth 1,000 coins. Yuan recognized their value as the teacher explained the school would distribute crystals based on the rank of their awakened beast souls. This was their first brutal lesson in the world of beast soul masters. Everything is decided by pure strength. The strong ascend to glory, while the weak are cast aside. Survival of the fittest is the only justice that matters here. Muxuan, with his S-rank skeletal reptile king, was awarded 10 high-rank beast soul crystals. As he strode forward, a classmate whispered in awe that Muxuan was one of only 2 S-rank masters in the school. The other was Muxuai. A senior before them also awakened an S-rank beast, the Golden Sun Crow. Now that senior is the strongest 9-star sovereign. Muxuan was destined for that same level of greatness. The teacher warned Muxuan not to get complacent despite his incredible natural talent. If he trained diligently, he could become a legendary soul beast master. He simply thanked her. Next, she called up John Lai, who possessed an A-rank giant stone beetle. His reward, 5 mid-rank soul crystals. After him came Lifeng with his A-rank hurricane demon wolf. He received 5 low-rank soul crystals. And finally, it was Yuan's turn. Yuan received 5 crystals of the absolute lowest rank. A wave of mockery erupted from the class. Muxuan sneered. With an E-rank talent, is he trying to break the school record for failure? With such a useless beast soul, he'll never be a master. He should just go build walls for a living. Just spare yourself the shame. Yuan quietly took his stones, as the teacher encouraged him to just try his best. But Muxuan wasn't finished sneering that the worthless crystals barely worth 1,000 coins were basically a bag of radiation. It's completely useless for cultivation. I wouldn't even take that trash for free. But Hailang's voice echoed in Yuan's mind. It's perfect for you. These low-rank crystals are formed when monsters are hit by nuclear weapons. Their flesh and blood become contaminated with nuclear radiation after death. This holds a unique energy your devouring ability can absorb. For you, this is a priceless treasure. Muxuan kept laughing, completely oblivious. Just then, Zhongyue offered him a high-ranking beast soul crystal of her own. He thanked her, then asked the unthinkable. Could I trade this high-rank crystal for more of the lowest-rank ones? She stared in shock. Do you hear yourself right now? I know you want to get stronger, but you can't feed your soul beast a diet of that harmful junk. Yuan ignored her plea. Muxuan glared at him annoyed. How could someone with such a pathetic talent earn the teacher's favor? Yuan accepted the high-grade crystal she offered. Heilang advised him. A high-grade crystal is worth 10,000 coins. A low-grade one is only 100. You could get 100 low-grade crystals for it, but no one carries that many around. Go to the Soul Beast Palace after school. You can make the exchange there. Yuan silently agreed. Just then, Muxue approached him. What are you up to? I need to walk home with you. There's something important I have to tell you. He nodded. She smiled. I just heard from the principal. That guy who was harassing me, he dropped out of school. Isn't that great? Meanwhile, Muxuan's cronies gawked from afar. Wait, isn't that the school goddess? Do they actually know each other? Why would she, with her S-rank nine-tailed snowfox, hang out with a bottom-tier loser like him? Muxuan's eyes narrowed. Why was this guy so lucky? Despite having the weakest soul, both the teacher and Muxue treated him so well. He just couldn't understand it. As evening fell and classes ended, Yuan prepared to leave, but his path was blocked by Muxuan and his crew. He snarled, What kind of love potion did you give the teacher? And what dirty trick did you use to get close to Muxue? He then confessed, I was the one who set up that rich kid to corner her. My plan was to swoop in and be the hero. But then, the idiot just dropped out and disappeared. It all clicked for Yuan. So Muxuan was the snake who had been ruining his reputation from the shadows. Muxuan spat. A beauty like Muxue belongs with a genius like me. You're just a worthless nobody. Why does she even look at you? He grabbed Yuan by the collar, his voice a low threat. Stay away from her. He had to get out of there before anyone saw him. Our main character was getting sick of this drama, but starting a fight at school would mean serious trouble. The teacher was good to him, and he didn't want to drag her into this mess. He looked the guy in the eye and refused flat out. The bully snarled that for an arrogant punk like him, he'd do him a little favor. He'd open Muxue's eyes and show her that he was nothing but trash, but he didn't want her to see him as someone who picks on the weak. So they made a deal. If our hero passes the beast trial, the bully eats a bag of low-grade crystals. But if he fails, he has to vanish for good. Yuan knew this was a high-stakes gamble. Could he really pull this off alone? Muxuan shot back. Why would I be scared to bet against trash like you? A smirk spread across our MC's face as he accepted the challenge. He then left the school grounds where Muxue was already waiting. She immediately pointed out that he was late. He kept it vague, just saying something came up before asking why she called him over. She smiled, saying it was no big deal. Since she has an S-rank beast soul, the school hooked her up with 10 high-quality crystals, and she wanted to split them with him. She'd heard he only got low-rank stones because of his E-rank beast soul. She said back in that fight when he protected her, he was so cool. His power was easily on par with a B-ranker. If he just keeps training hard, he's guaranteed to evolve. How could they possibly give him only low-grade crystals? He appreciated her concern but turned her down. That's when she told him what she heard. The beast trial is brutally difficult. Even some B-rankers end up failing. She insisted she didn't need so many crystals and that he should absorb them. It would give him a massive boost for the trial. He asked if she wasn't worried. If she gave him half her crystals, what if she couldn't pass the trial herself? She told him not to underestimate her. She possessed the nine-tailed snow fox beast soul. She could ace the trial without any crystals. So he proposed a counteroffer. He couldn't explain why, but if they both managed to pass the test, then he would accept her crystals. She was thrilled and immediately agreed. But he added if he failed the trial. It would be a total waste of her resources, so he had to prepare properly. She just gave him a knowing smile. He thought to himself that when trial day comes, she's going to be absolutely floored by his real strength. After they parted ways, Heilang teased him that she was clearly into him. Yuan shut it down and told him to head to the Beast Soul Palace. When they arrived and stepped inside, Heilang gazed around, noting the palace was exclusively for Beast Soul Masters. This was the very stage for the Beast trial. But he didn't care about the sights. He just wanted to exchange the crystals. He walked straight to the appraiser and asked to trade them for a batch of low-quality crystals. The man was stunned. This was likely the first time he'd ever seen someone trade premium crystals for garbage. He was handed a bag with 100 low-quality crystals for a 500 coin fee. The main character paid and walked out. Heilang had to ask, was he completely insane? He just replied that there's a thin line between a genius and a madman. He went to a deserted warehouse outside the city, the perfect place for his beast to grow undisturbed. It had already grown significantly since their last encounter, and was in its prime growth stage. He glanced down at the crystal. Hailang's system noted a successful absorption of nuclear radiation, granting him 1,000 evolution points. Yuan was floored. One chicken offered a paltry 5 points, but a single low-grade crystal gave a whopping 1,000. This meant the 100 stones in his bag were worth a massive 100,000 evolution points. Each level was split into 9 stars. His beast was currently at the 7-star rank. The progression went from Battle Beast to Beast General, then Beast Master, and finally to Lord and Emperor. With a beast this powerful, the upcoming beast trial would be a complete cakewalk. A week later, all the students gathered at the Beast Soul Palace. The air was tense as they nervously talked amongst themselves. They weighed their chances of passing the trial, comparing the ranks and levels of all their different battle beasts. One student fretted over his 4-star B-rank beast, while another looked on jealously with his meager 2-star D rank. The anxiety was palpable. With such fierce competition, only those with S-rank beasts had a real shot at getting in. They were all aiming for the top school's Dungeon Beast University, or Mo City University. And of course, the bullies were there too. Muxuan swaggered over to Yuan, sneering if the crystal from teacher Zhang Yu helped his pathetic lizard. He mocked if it even broke through to the first level of a battle beast. Yuan simply turned and asked, "Are you ready?" Muxuan proudly boasted that his beast had already hit the 8-star battle beast level. The test would be a piece of cake. "That's not what I asked," our MC interrupted. "I asked if you're ready to eat that bag of low-grade crystals." The crowd was shocked into silence. Was this guy out of his mind? Mu Xuan was an 8-star powerhouse. Mu Xuan was about to clap back, but teacher Zhang Yu appeared right on cue as always. He announced that the exam was about to start. They were to grab their IDs and tickets, then enter the palace single file. As Yuan walked away, Mu Xuan seethed, promising he'd get what was coming to him after the test. The minutes ticked by, and then it was Yuan's turn. He ascended to the 3rd floor where a special chair awaited, and the teacher instructed him to prepare. "You awakened an E-rank soul?" he asked. Yuan confirmed it, and the teacher, already sure he'd fail, just patted his shoulder and wished him luck. Our main character took a seat on the chair as a helmet was lowered onto his head. The system's voice echoed, announcing the combat simulation was initiating as the countdown began. When our hero opened his eyes, he was standing in a barren wasteland. He scanned the area, no terrain advantage here. A vicious howl erupted from the side. He snapped his head toward the sound, spotting a 3-star desert wolf closing in on him. This was the first opponent of the trial. The wolf lunged its jaws wide open, ready to attack. He instantly dodged and countered. To his amazement, the beast was so fragile, it went down in a single blow. Hailang's voice echoed in his mind. "Aren't you going to fuse with your beast soul?" He smirked, replying that for such low-level trash, it wasn't necessary. This was just a good chance to warm up. Meanwhile, the teacher was stunned that he'd passed the first stage. The second one immediately began. This time he faced 3 opponents, but for Yuan, this changed nothing. He effortlessly took one down, and the teacher urged his colleague to come take a look. His colleague stared at the monitor, completely baffled. He just killed a 3-star desert wolf without using his beast soul. Judging by his colleague's expression, he was utterly dumbfounded by what he was seeing. Meanwhile, our hero crushed another wolf's head with a punch, then spun around with a kick that sent the last monster flying. The instructors were in shock. Defeating 3 3-star desert wolves without a beast soul fusion was absolutely unheard of. One of them clutched his head in disbelief, asking his colleague, "Do you think he's cheating?" The entire point of the exam was to test their beast soul's power, and this kid wasn't even using his. The man replied that while it was against the spirit of the test, it wasn't technically cheating. They'd see if he cleared the 3rd level. If he failed that, he would fail the entire beast test. His colleague couldn't help but agree. The first 2 levels were just to get candidates used to real combat. The 3rd stage was the true test. The man noted that passing the 3rd level without a beast soul was virtually impossible, regardless of the strength he'd shown. It's a pity his beast soul talent is only E rank. If his soul was stronger, his future would be limitless. As Yuan finished off the wolves, Hailong advised him to conserve his power. This was merely the appetizer. The main course was about to be served. Stage 3 began revealing his opponent, a massive 6-star desert wolf king. A flicker of concern crossed our hero's face, but it was immediately replaced by an unshakable look of confidence. He knew taking down a beast of this magnitude required an incredibly high level of beast soul talent. After all, they say only candidates with A-rank souls or higher can pass this trial in their first year. The time had finally come to unleash his true strength. He decided to use his beast soul fusion, much to Hailong's delight. In an instant, he transformed into a colossal black lizard. His talent now registered as S rank, his level a 3-star beast general. Hailang's voice boomed with joy, exclaiming that he'd successfully broken through to a higher level. This was a new beginning. Yuan let out a terrifying roar, his shadow completely eclipsing the wolf. One of the teachers gasped. What just happened? A weak lizard beast soul turned into a Tyrannosaurus, he yelled at his colleague in disbelief. Did you mess up the inspection? Are you certain he was E rank? The other shot back defensively. I'm not blind. If you don't believe me, look at the card yourself. It says E rank. His colleague stared, asking, then what is going on? A beast that massive has to be at least general rank. This is unbelievable. It's only been days since his awakening. He's already a general rank beast soul, which means his talent is at least S rank. No, it's gotta be SS or even SSS rank. How could he have reached such a level? But the Desert Wolf King wasn't backing down even in the face of this overwhelming danger. It gathered all its might and lunged at Yuan with a furious roar, only to be killed with a single swipe of his massive claw. The teachers were floored. He had just one shot at a 6-star beast. The instructor ordered his colleague, stay right where you are, and keep recording, vowing to report this to the head examiner. He bolted from the room, rushing to his superior, convinced a legendary talent had just emerged in Jinny City. Meanwhile, Johann faced more wolves, sighing that the exam's difficulty was pretty underwhelming. Hailong reminded him that clearing the first 3 levels was just the bare minimum to pass. He had to keep fighting if he wanted to lock in a higher score. This was crucial as elite universities scout beast soul masters based on these very results. Johann sized up his foes, a 6-star Desert Wolf King and 10 3-stars. It seemed this stage was a test of raw combat ability, but for him, it was a joke. He unleashed a mighty roar, freezing the wolves in place before pouncing, crushing them all beneath his paws. With the mobs cleared, he growled, how many more levels are there? Just then, the head examiner, Zhao Shan, stormed into the observation room, annoyed. Why was I summoned in such a rush? Don't you know, observers are forbidden to leave their posts without permission. The man explained that one candidate's performance indicators were completely off the charts. He needed Zhao Shan to see it personally. The kid's talent rank just didn't match his demonstrated power. Zhao Shan scoffed, saying there was nothing strange about that. Many awakeners exceed their limits. In a real battle, a B rank could easily outperform an A rank. He was making a big deal out of nothing. But when the staffer revealed his talent was E rank, Zhao Shan froze. He dared to join the test with that rank. What a reckless kid. You dragged me here for a student who awakened an E rank beast soul. Another examiner urged him to just watch the fight before drawing any conclusions. Zhao Shan reluctantly peered at the screen, but his eyes widened when he saw the colossal lizard. He was floored. Are you absolutely sure he's an E rank? The man confirmed it. Now do you see why I called you? His power is at least beast general level, and he's on the 10th trial. Zhao Shan knew the 10th level was the brutal final stage, where each of the 10 wolves held the power of a 7-star battle beast. The examiner asked, if he clears this, will it prove he's beast general level? Zhao Shan confirmed it, adding that the top universities would start a bidding war for him. Without fail, every person who has cleared all 10 levels is a certified genius. This kid's future was at minimum becoming a lord rank, beast soul master. He might even reach emperor rank, but it was too early to say for sure, as it was unknown if he could actually pass this final stage. Meanwhile, Johann faced his final opponents. He had expected some kind of massive boss for the final stage of the evaluation, but it was only 10 Desert Wolf Kings. He glanced at the pack and clicked his tongue in annoyance, before lunging, roaring that they were all scum. Trash is trash, no matter how much you stack it. He would crush them all. The wolves swarmed him, but he swiped his paw forward, obliterating one as the rest descended upon him. They climbed onto his body, their fangs sinking in, only to shatter against his impossibly tough hide. The examiners gasped at his terrifying defense. He easily withstood the assault of a 7-star beast. His attack, defense, speed, and power were all at a perfect level. Could this truly be an E-rank talent? Johann shook off the monsters clinging to him, but 6 still remained. He growled ominously, gathering energy in his maw. The head examiner leaned forward, intrigued, asking what that power was. Johann decided to wipe them out in one go. He fired a beam of pure energy, leaving not a single trace of them behind. The examiners stared in absolute shock. The energy blast was so immense it carved a deep scar into the arena floor. The simulation system announced his success. The test was officially cleared. Johann found the exam far easier than he ever imagined. Since he'd cleared the final level, an amazing grade was guaranteed. He wondered how many people would be shocked once the results were announced. After all, not even the S-rank prodigy, Muxuan, could clear this test. He would use this chance to show every university in the country that even an E-rank beast soul could possess overwhelming power. Meanwhile, Hailong was dancing with pure joy. When Johann returned to reality, he was met by the dumbfounded expressions of the instructors. They checked his stats again. He was 18 years old, and not even 2 weeks after awakening his beast soul, he'd reached the rank of 3-star beast general. That kind of power was simply monstrous. Sean offered his congratulations for clearing every single level of the test. The kid had to know what that meant, right? A slight smile touched his lips. So I got a good score. The examiner beamed, praising the incredible talent and power he'd shown. He was certain Yangjing and every major university would be fighting over him. Yuan then asked when the official results would be posted. The examiner replied that barring any issues, the final lists would be up this afternoon. He silently observed the other students buzzing with excitement while he remained unnervingly calm. Our main character thanked them and turned to leave, but Sean stopped him, asking why his talent was only an E rank. Was something botched during his beast soul awakening? If he ran into any trouble, Sean offered his help. Yuan replied that his beast soul was genuinely weak when it first appeared. That's precisely why he was assigned the E rank. There was nothing to worry about. As Yuan headed for the exit, the man asked the chief examiner for his take on the situation. Do you think he's telling the truth? The chief admitted it didn't seem like a lie. His composure was what truly stunned him. To get such an insane score and show zero arrogance was truly admirable. A new immensely powerful beast soul master was on the rise. Yuan emerged from the grand hall into a sea of students all debating their final exam scores. Mu Shui, standing apart from the crowd, spotted Yuan and waved quickly, jogging over to him. He asked if she passed. She nodded, confirming that her evaluation came back pretty high. He wondered how many levels she'd cleared, and her answer of 9 genuinely shocked him. He never expected her to get that far. It seemed she'd gotten way stronger than he realized. Catching her hesitant gaze, he knew she was dying to ask about his score but couldn't. After all, an E ranker is lucky to even clear the first level. She was in for a major shock later. He just smiled and suggested they get going. The exam was over, and he didn't feel like dwelling on the results. He offered to treat her to dinner to celebrate her success. She lit up, happily accepting and demanding a huge bowl of noodles. He raised an eyebrow, puzzled. That's all. She replied that she was so starved she'd eat whatever he ordered. He thought for a moment. The restaurant was pretty far. We won't miss the results announcement, will we? Mu Shui simply grabbed his hand, pulling him along and saying their scores were already locked in anyway. The announcement was just for the final rankings. He let her lead. There was nothing to stress about. No one could have beaten his score. A while later, Mu Xuan finally stepped out of the exam hall. He'd cleared 7 levels, tying last year's champion. Mu Xuan soaked in the admiration from the other students, who were all buzzing about his immense strength. He smirked, thinking that a talent like him naturally commands the spotlight wherever he goes. He had gone all out for this, even getting his parents to buy a pricey elixir to max out his beast soul's potential. His buddy noticed Yuan was nowhere in sight, and Mu Xuan sneered that he'd probably gone into hiding. And he still had the nerve to challenge him with that rank. His friends called him a total joke, saying they'd never show their faces again. They would have buried themselves in shame by now. They were dying to see the humiliation, but the coward was a no-show. Mu Xuan declared that since he was too scared to appear, he would be branded a coward for life for running away. But that's not how it went down. Just then, a familiar voice cut in from the crowd. Seeing him casually chatting with the school's #1 beauty fury erupted in Mu Xuan. How dare he show up with her? He stalked toward them, noticing how absurdly calm Yuan looked. Seems like you got a good grade. Yuan simply replied, it's acceptable. One of Mu Xuan's goons jeered. I bet you struggled just to pass the first level, huh? Another guy snickered, adding that even someone with 0 skills could probably pass level 1. Does anyone actually fail that? The crowd erupted with laughter. Mu Xuan stepped forward. You haven't forgotten our little bet, have you? Yuan scratched his head, feigning confusion. Now that you mention it, I almost did. So, are you ready to lose? Mu Xuan sputtered in outrage. Lose to worthless trash like you. Just then, the clock struck exactly 2 o'clock. It was time. Everyone swarmed the massive results screens. Mu Xuan spotted his name in the top 3, a triumphant smirk on his face. But wait, he was only in 3rd place. That meant 2 people had actually scored higher than him. In 2nd place was Mu Shui. He was stunned that she had actually cleared the 9th level. He never imagined her potential surpassed his own. But if she cleared 9 levels and was still only 2nd, then who was the monster that took 1st place? His eyes shot to the top of the list and froze. It was Yuan's name. Cold dread washed over him. How was this possible? How could a measly E rank with a garbage beast soul clear 10 levels? Whispers erupted among the students. Who was this guy? Clearing all 10 levels. He was an absolute monster. No one saw this coming. Not even the S-rank soul holders were expected to achieve a perfect score. Even Mu Shui, who nearly aced the test, fumbled at the final stage. But that's not what had the students buzzing. It was the epic fall of the arrogant Mu Xuan, who after all his boasting only managed to secure 3rd place. A total public disgrace. Hearing their jeers, Mu Xuan hid his face in shame as Yuan declared that he had lost. Wasn't it time he honored their bet? Would he eat that bag of low-grade crystals dry, or perhaps with some seasoning? In that instant, every student looked at him with pure admiration. No one would dare mess with him again. Mu Shui was thrilled. Now it all made sense why he wasn't shocked by her results. The real question was, how did he do it? Unable to swallow his defeat, Mu Xuan roared that it was impossible. How could an E-rank piece of trash get a score like that? He must have cheated. The accusation sent a shockwave of confusion and outrage through the students. They were baffled. Was it true? How could anyone possibly cheat on an exam like this? Could the number one student have deceived everyone? A shadow crossed Yuan's face as he confronted Muxuan. Did he truly believe he'd resort to cheating? Muxuan fired back that as an E-ranker, how else could he have possibly passed? Doubt rippled through the crowd. The weakest beast soul clearing 10 levels, maybe he really did cheat. But some were skeptical as the combat simulation completely forbids the use of any external items. That meant cheating was impossible. Noticing the rising tension, Yuan directly addressed his accuser. Whoever said an E-rank beast soul couldn't pass this exam, the official rulebooks certainly don't. He sneered, telling him not to get arrogant. He was filing a formal complaint with the Beast Soul Palace Court. He would expose the disgusting methods Yuan had used. Yuan didn't know what court that was, so Hailong quickly explained. If candidates dispute their test results, they can appeal to the Beast Soul Palace Court for a review. But hearings over another person's score were almost unheard of. Yuan simply replied that he could do as he pleased. But if Yuan is proven innocent, the terms of their bet still stand. Muxuan shot back that he possessed an S-ranked soul and was simply incapable of losing. Suddenly, the chief examiner arrived, his presence silencing the entire hall. His beast soul's aura radiated immense power. Hailong confirmed what they all suspected: he was a lord-ranked master. His spiritual pressure was overwhelming. Whispers immediately spread that his great fierce bear soul had reached the 7-star lord level, making him an unbelievably powerful master. Such a legend from Genhai had personally come to be their examiner. Shanhai's voice boomed. I heard someone wishes to file a suit. Who is it? Muxuan immediately stepped forward, declaring his intent to file that lawsuit. He claimed the evaluation of student Lin Yuan's result was baseless, pointing a finger straight at him. He yelled that Yuan was a weakling who somehow cleared 10 levels, which was completely abnormal. Therefore, he demanded a reasonable explanation from the Beast Soul Palace. Shanhai calmly replied that he had personally witnessed Yuan's exam from start to finish. He had detected nothing unusual. Or are you implying he asked that I helped him cheat? Muxuan confidently stated he was the pride of Genhai, and he would never dare doubt him. But the beast soul Yuan awakened was rated as an E-rank talent. Everyone in the room understood what that meant. How could he possibly clear 10 levels with such a soul? He suggested the examiner release the video of Yuan's fight to prove it to the public. The students murmured in agreement, but Shanhai refused, stating he could not agree to the demand. Per the regulations of the Beast Soul, palace examiners cannot disclose candidate information except in special cases. But Muxuan had a backup plan. He said if the video can't be shown, there's another way to prove the result's authenticity. They could hold a public duel, and if Yuan wins, he'll prove his genuine strength. But if he loses, it's undeniable proof that his score was obtained by fraud. The students sided with Muxuan. Muxuai defended her friend, calling him despicable. He was twisting the situation just to humiliate him. Yuan stopped her, saying it was fine. Hailong knew his motive was obvious. He wanted a chance to fight him and prove to everyone he was a loser. Yuan just smiled, saying this was perfect timing. They would settle the score right now. Muxuan turned to Examiner Zhao and asked for his permission. Challenging someone in the Beast Soul Palace was forbidden. He knew the rules well, but the decision rested on the challenged. Now every eye was on Yuan, wondering if he would accept. He was trapped by the sheer tension. Refusing now would brand him as a cheater. Muxuan, grinning smugly, asked if he would accept. Muxue warned him that he could still refuse. He shot back. When someone provokes you, why endure it? The only way to make them fear you is to shatter their bones. He raised his hand, accepting the duel, and the crowd erupted. An S-rank soul was about to clash with an E-rank. A battle like this was unheard of. But the power gap was immense. Everyone was certain Yuan would be crushed. However, he was the first to clear 10 levels of the Soul Beast trial. Suddenly, the outcome was no longer certain. Shanhei spoke up, declaring this fight completely unnecessary. They were both the pride of Genhai City, ranked first and third. There was no need for a deathmatch over something so trivial. He repeated that he had personally verified the exam. There was absolutely no cheating. Muxuan glared, annoyed. Why was everyone defending Yuan? Was he really so special they'd cover for him? He refused to back down, demanding the examiner witness their fight. He vowed to tear Yuan to pieces. Shanhei sighed heavily. In that case, the duel would be in the Beast Soul Arena. All who wished to watch could come. It seemed everyone wanted to see this showdown, and the entire arena was completely packed. The two fighters entered the ring. The examiner announced that if both sides were ready, the battle would commence. But first he laid out the rules. This was just a spar. They could go all out, but killing was forbidden. The match would end the moment one side yielded. Using any outside items during the duel was prohibited. Break any of the rules, and it would be considered an automatic defeat. He asked if they understood. They both confirmed. Muxuan then sneered, telling his opponent that all of this was his own fault. Yuan retorted that he hadn't expected such a fuss just to avoid their bet. If you beg for mercy now, he said, I might spare you from having to eat those inferior crystals. Besides, giving them to you would be a waste. Enraged, Muxuan screamed "Da" and merged with his beast. He transformed into a colossal skeletal reptile king. The audience gasped. This was the power of an S-rank talent. The third-ranked genius attacked immediately, lashing out with his tail, but Yuan leaped back, dodging the blow. Muxuan snarled with contempt. "Are you too scared to merge with your beast soul?" The audience also found it strange. If he could beat an S-rank, it would prove he didn't cheat. Muxue worried, recalling Yuan's soul was a tiny E-rank lizard. She was unsure how he cleared 10 levels, but resolved to act if Muxuan tried to seriously injure him. Noticing the worry on her face, Hailang drifted closer to her. He told her not to worry. Yuan would not lose to a guy like that. Meanwhile, Yuan smirked. "Since you're so eager to see my fusion," he said, "I'll satisfy your desire." Instantly, he activated the fusion. His body rose as torrents of energy spiraled wildly around him. He morphed into an enormous lizard, leaving everyone completely stunned by the sight. Even Muxuan was in disbelief. He had an E-rank soul. How could he become so powerful so quickly? Yuan gave him a menacing glare and swung a massive paw, roaring. Who said an E-rank is weaker than an S-rank? Muxuan looked up, just as the protagonist unleashed a devastating shockwave right at him. Leaping back, Muxuan thought, "Damn, that claw would have crippled me. This is a beast soul general's strength. Impossible. To reach this level in days, before he could process it, another paw descended upon him. His mind screamed, "Crap, I can't dodge." He then roared, "How can I, the skeletal reptile king, lose to E-rank scum?" He swung his own claw in defiance, but the protagonist caught his paw mid-swing. Yuan said, not expecting him to dare fight back. Muxuan shouted, "What the hell are you trying to do?" The protagonist threw him over his shoulder, slamming him into the ground and roaring, "What do you think?" Muxuan was sent flying. Then Yuan began swinging him around, smashing him into the ground with more force each time. In that moment, the entire crowd was shouting, "Yuan is destroying Muxuan. Is this his true strength?" It finally dawned on them. Examiner Shanhe wasn't shielding Yuan. He was trying to protect Muxuan. Một tia kinh ngạc lóe lên trong đầu Muxuan. Dù biết Yuan không yếu như một hồn thú hạng E mạnh đến thế này, thật sự quá vô lý. Muxuan gầm lên phẫn uất. Không thể nào hồn thú hạng S của hắn lại yếu hơn một đứa hạng E được. Ngay giây tiếp theo, nhân vật chính xé toạc đuôi của hắn ta và tuyên bố trận đấu kết thúc. Anh ta khinh khỉnh hỏi ai nói thế. Rồi một viên nang xuất hiện trên lưỡi hắn và hắn ta nuốt chửng nó. Sơn Hải đứng xem thầm nghĩ một viên huyết nang. Ngay lúc đó Hắc Long bay đến bên nhân vật chính và cảnh báo rằng hắn vừa dùng một viên thuốc để cưỡng ép tăng cấp. Trong chốc lát, sức mạnh của hắn sẽ tăng vọt từ chiến thú 8 sao lên thành thú tướng 3 sao. Tuy nhiên, sau khi dùng thuốc này, hắn sẽ mất cả tháng để hồi phục. Thật là một kẻ điên, hắn muốn thắng bằng mọi giá. Nhân vật chính chỉ nhếch mép, chỉ là một tên hề. Rồi Sơn Hải cầm lấy micro chỉ tay về phía trước và hét lớn, "Muxuan, ngươi là kẻ thua cuộc vì đã vi phạm luật thi đấu. Thậm chí còn vô dụng hơn cả ta tưởng." Rồi ông nhìn sang nhân vật chính và nghĩ, thằng nhóc này định tiếp tục đấu với Muxuan ngay cả khi hắn đã dùng doping sao. Giây tiếp theo, mắt Muxuan rước lên ngọn lửa điên cuồng, hắn gầm lên rằng sẽ giết chết anh. Nhưng khi nhìn đối thủ, hắn kinh ngạc tự hỏi, tại sao nó lại bình tĩnh đến vậy? Rõ ràng bây giờ mình mạnh hơn. Sức mạnh này là gì? Ngay sau đó, Yuan bắt đầu tập trung năng lượng trong miệng mình, và Muxuan nghĩ, không còn đường lui nữa, Yuan nó phải chết. Giây tiếp theo, nhân vật chính giải phóng một quả cầu năng lượng cực mạnh, đẩy lùi Muxuan bằng một luồng sức mạnh khủng khiếp. Lực tác động khiến hắn đâm sầm vào tường, làm nứt cả bức tường rồi rơi xuống đất, biến trở lại thành người. Ngay giây sau, Sơn Hải nắm chặt tay và hét lên, chính thức tuyên bố Yuan là người chiến thắng trận đấu này. Hơn nữa, Muxuan đã dùng chất cấm trong khi giao đấu để gia tăng sức mạnh một cách giả tạo. Vậy có ai phản đối đánh giá về học viên này không? Lúc đó, nhân vật chính biến trở lại thành người và tất cả mọi người có mặt bắt đầu la hét, "Wow, Muxuan dùng cả doping mà vẫn không thắng nổi. Yuan quá mạnh. Ai đã mưu mà đánh giá? Hồn thú của cậu ấy là tài năng hàng E vậy. Đã bao giờ thấy hàng E đè bẹp hàng S chưa?" Sơn Hải đỡ lấy Muxuan và nhìn người nhân viên bảo anh ta đưa hắn đến phòng y tế. Vết thương không chí mạng nhưng tác dụng phụ của viên thuốc đủ để khiến cậu ta nằm liệt giường vài tháng đấy. Người nhân viên đưa tay ra và đáp, "Vâng." Rồi anh ta đặt tay Muxuan qua vai mình, thở dài và nói, "Giờ thì có vẻ như không có trường đại học danh tiếng nào nhận cậu ta nữa rồi." Đồng nghiệp của anh ta nói, cậu ta chỉ có thể tự trách mình thôi. Sơn Hải sau đó tiến đến chỗ Yuan và chúc mừng anh đã thắng cuộc đấu. Đáp lại, anh cảm ơn ông. Ông tự hỏi anh đang cảm ơn mình vì điều gì và đặt tay lên ngực. Ông nghĩ lẽ ra mình nên ngăn cản anh kịp thời nhưng đã không làm vậy. Sơn Hải sau đó cau mày với anh và nói, "Thực ra tôi không chỉ là giám khảo chính mà còn là thành viên của Ủy ban tuyển sinh của Đại học Hồn Thú ở thành phố Mạc. Cậu có muốn đăng ký vào đó không?" Nói rồi ông đặt tay lên vai anh. Nhân vật chính sau đó ngạc nhiên hỏi, Hà Hắc Long nói rằng Đại học Hồn Thú Yến Kinh và Mạc Thành là những trường danh giá nhất, chỉ những người giỏi nhất trong số những người giỏi nhất mới vào được. Rồi Yuan đưa tay ra và cười, hỏi thầy Sơn Hải, "Thầy cũng tuyển người vì lợi ích của mình đúng không? Và thầy là người giỏi nhất ở Can Hải phải không?" Ông nhìn anh ngạc nhiên và tự hỏi, thằng nhóc này có bình thường không vậy? Nó đang làm ơn cho trường đại học à? Điều đầu tiên anh nghĩ đến là những lợi ích mà trường đại học sẽ mang lại cho mình. Nhân vật chính sau đó nói thêm. Một học viện hàng đầu như vậy chắc hẳn phải có những điều kiện đặc biệt. Ông ta hét lại cha. Tất nhiên là có. Nếu muốn đăng ký cậu có thể nộp đơn. Xin học bổng toàn phần bao gồm 500.000 xu. 20 tinh thể hồn thú cao cấp, 5 viên nang hồn thú và một thanh hồn kiếm cấp tướng. Nhân vật chính nghĩ. 20 tinh thể cao cấp trị giá 200.000 xu và viên nang hồn thú trị giá 250.000. Lúc này Hắc Long bảo anh hãy suy nghĩ kỹ. Và rồi Sơn Hải đang tay ra và nói rằng đây là điều tốt nhất mà trường đại học có thể cung cấp. Ông và ban giám hiệu nhà trường đều chân thành trong ý định của mình. Giây tiếp theo họ nghe thấy một giọng nói Sơn Hải đồ vô liêm sỉ. Trần Ngọc Hổ tiến đến gần họ và hét lên. Chiến dịch tuyển sinh còn chưa bắt đầu mà ông đã lừa thằng nhóc này rồi. Yuan nghĩ ai đang nói chuyện với Sơn Hải bằng giọng điệu đó vậy? Đại diện của Đại học Hồn Thú Yến Kinh sao? Ngọc Hổ tiến đến gần họ. Sơn Hải nhắm mắt lại và nói. Ngọc Hổ đừng nói bậy. Chẳng lẽ tài năng trẻ không thể đến trường nào khác ngoài trường của ông sao? Ông ta hét lên đủ rồi. Ông ta nhìn nhân vật chính và hét vào mặt anh đừng để bị lừa. Trường của chúng tôi vượt trội hơn Đại học Mạc ở nhiều mặt. Nếu cậu đăng ký, cậu sẽ được cấp 500.000 xu, 40 high-grade Beast Soul Crystals, and 10 Beast Soul Capsules. The entire crowd gasped. So this was the power of Yanjing University. This is how they treat true geniuses. The top universities weren't just competing for him, but waging a war with resources. If he'd cleared all 10 levels, that honor would be his. Instantly, Shanhee unleashed his beast soul, roaring, "How dare you poach a student right under my nose?" Yoo-hoo fired back, his own power flaring. "Who do you think you're scaring?" As their immense energies began to collide, the protagonist thought, so this is the power of a Lord-rank beast soul. He clenched his fists, absorbing the incredible scene. Then Ding Lushan stepped forward, his own beast soul erupting as he asked, "What is all this commotion?" Our hero's eyes locked onto him, realizing he had suppressed the auras of both the fierce bear and the void tiger. Could this man truly be stronger than both Shanhee and Yoo-hoo Lushan? Then made his pitch. "Young man, come to our Sichuan Beast University. We'll give you 3 million coins, 50 high-grade soul crystals, and 10 beast soul capsules." He extended a hand, adding, "Plus you'll receive 20 high-grade crystals every semester until you graduate." They truly spared no expense when it came to cultivating the best new talent. Now that's a rich university, our hero thought. He looked around as the crowd of recruiters started shouting, "Yuan, Yuan, come see our university. We can match their insane conditions. Yuan, we're Tian'an Beast University. You should choose us. No, come to our Qingbai University. We were ranked 8th last year." He realized that while they all wanted him, it was mainly to use him as a walking advertisement. Yoo-hoo finally cut in. "Enough of this circus. Yuan, what do you say?" He bowed deeply. "I am grateful to you all, but I'm very sorry. Other than Yanjing Beast University and Mo City's Beast University, I'm not considering any other schools." Lushan simply adjusted his hat. "If you change your mind, you know who to call." He nodded. "Of course. If my plans change, I'll contact you." The final two men yelled for him to choose. He slammed his fist into his palm, declaring, "I will announce my decision before admissions begin." "Sean," he grunted, "fine, I will wait." Yoo-hoo added, "Think it over carefully." He simply replied, "I will." As the university reps stormed toward the exit, they immediately started bickering again. "You tried to steal him from me. Don't be shameless. Who stole who? You want to fight? Then let's go. I'm not afraid of you." As they argued, Hailang's voice chimed in. "Congratulations, the system just rated your beast soul as general rank, earning you a silver chest. You should open it quick and see what's inside. It's your very first silver chest." The main character thought for a moment. Just then, Muxui approached him. "Hey," she called out, "you're so cool. You're the city's #1 now, and all the top universities are fighting just for you." She smiled warmly. "So which one are you going to choose in the end? You've earned their favor with your skill and your scores. I think you should choose either Yanjing or Mo City's university." "Don't you want to go to the same school I do?" he replied. "That would be awesome. You could take care of me. But I need to think about it." She then added, "Objectively speaking, Yanjing is stronger, but I'm going to choose the university in Mo City." "Why?" he asked. She looked away. "Because there are people in Yanjing that I don't want to see." He knew he'd touched a sensitive topic. Later that day, back in Yuan's house, Heilang flew around him excitedly. 10,000 evolution points, and you got a general rank weapon, a flame claw. He stared at the item's description in shock. When attacking, an enemy flames erupt from the claws, dealing additional damage. Our protagonist summoned the weapon to his hand, shouting, "Not bad." Then Heilang crossed his arms and yelled, "What do you mean, not bad? This thing is insane. Weapons are ranked War Beast, General Beastmaster, Lord, and Emperor. A weapon of this rank is worth hundreds of thousands." He was stunned. "It's that expensive." "That's still considered cheap," he shouted. "Anything above Beastmaster rank can be worth tens of millions. If our luck holds, we're going to be crazy rich." Our hero's gaze became determined. "I have to reach Lord rank as soon as I possibly can." Then Hailong asked, By the way, what are your thoughts on the universities? He shot back. What information do you have? Yanjing University raises powerful masters, he replied. But Mo City's university raises absolute monsters. Besides, I think you'll fit right in there. Why is that? He asked. Highline grinned. Because they put military might above everything else. In this world, power is everything. Society is built on 3 legendary ranks: Hidden Dragon, Beastmaster, and Beast God. Your rank dictates your resources, your entire life. While Yanjing University nurtures the elite, Mo University is a brutal coliseum. Our main character was stunned. A coliseum. He realized, if one person could truly be worth more than millions, a fire ignited in him. He declared his choice, Beast University, in Mo City. A thought burned in his mind. Why can't that be me? Later, at an office in Shanghai, Yuhu burst into the room. Shanghai. His colleague simply smirked, asking what the fuss was. Yuan already applied to our school. You have no chance, Shanghai retorted. Don't get ahead of yourself. I respect the kid's choice. Muk Shui was also admitted there, Yuhu added. Shanghai's eyes widened. You know her? He asked. More than know her, Yuhu warned, his tone serious. When she gets to campus, look after her. Her background isn't simple. Shanghai's mind flashed back to our protagonist's earnest question. Teacher, when can I get my scholarship? He'd replied that it was normally after enrollment, but he could submit an advance application, and the funds would arrive soon. He then glanced at Yuhu. What about her? Does she need an advance too? Yuhu shook his head. No need, hers is on the regular schedule. Shanghai murmured thoughtfully. Right, she seems much better off than Yuan. Yuhu crossed his arms, his expression firm. I can't go into the details. Just look after her. 3 days later, Yuan arrived at the building. Amazed the scholarship had arrived so fast. A massive grant, 500,000 coins, 20 high-grade crystals, 5 beast soul capsules, and a general rank weapon, the Blackthorn armor. Heilang, his spirit guide, explained how the armor would fortify his scales and sprout defensive spikes along his spine for protection. The university really values you, Heilang noted. But Yuan simply frowned, thinking it wasn't the gear that mattered, but the 500,000 coin subsidy. With that, he could get 5,000 low-grade crystals and 5 million evolution points. The worker at the supply depot immediately asked if he wanted to exchange for low-grade crystals. Again, how much this time? Yuan replied flatly. 500,000. The worker choked. What? A little later, the stunned worker stood by a truck packed with bags. It's all loaded, he confirmed. Yuan waved his thanks from the window. You're welcome, the worker called back as the truck pulled away. Watching the truck disappear, the worker muttered, is he feeding pigs with that stuff? Later, at Yuan's home, he sat cross-legged amidst a mountain of crystal bags. He said it was too risky to tell the driver the address of the secret warehouse, so he brought it all home. How long can I maintain the fusion state? To absorb all this, Heilang offered a solution, then stay here and absorb it as a human. Yuan was floored. That's possible. Don't you have to fuse with a beast's soul to absorb energy? He asked. For most people, yes, Heilang confirmed. But you have the system. It lets you absorb them in human form. Yuan yelled. Why didn't you tell me earlier? The absorption rate is a little slower, Heilang admitted, but compared to the enormous energy cost of your beast form, this is the best option. He flew aside as Yuan began to concentrate, gripping a crystal tightly in his palm. Seconds later, Heilang cheered. Congratulations. You've absorbed the crystal's energy and gained over 1,000 evolution points. Yuan checked the clock, his mind racing. 15 minutes. It's slower than my beast form for sure. I have to speed this up to absorb all 500,000 crystals. That's about 84 a day. As night descended, Yuan kept at it, relentlessly absorbing energy while Heilang watched. Noticing a change. Your body is mutating from the radiation, he observed. You're becoming resistant to it. Yuan stared in shock. I'm immune to radiation, he asked. Heilang confirmed that, with this ability, he was immune to any concentration of it. A realization dawned on Yuan. They used nukes to destroy monsters in so many places. My body won't be affected by those contaminated restricted zones anymore. This is perfect. He clenched his fist, eyes blazing with resolve. 2 months left, I will absorb every last crystal and level up my strength as fast as possible, Heilang cheered. That's the spirit. Meanwhile, in the Beast University conference hall, of Mo City director Wang Ting surveyed the room. Everyone has worked incredibly hard these past few days. As of now, student recruitment for our university has officially been completed. Tapping a datapad, he added with a smile. This year's crop of freshmen is even more impressive than ever before. And it wasn't just their university. Prestigious schools everywhere had recruited some insane talent, true geniuses, but waiting for them to ripen. That's a lifetime. By then, he feared he'd already be retired. So he pitched his concerns to the other university directors, leading to a bold decision, a national freshman competition, to discover which of these prodigies is the true monster. A murmur went through the room. A tournament was a brilliant idea. It would pit the best from every university against one another in a glorious clash. A great way to teach students, there's always a bigger fish. But isn't this a waste of time for freshmen? Wang Ting cut in, stating the decision was already final. Participation was open to everyone. He just needed a roster from them. Meng Chang'an then asked director Wang Ting about the team size. He answered roughly 12, 10 main fighters and 2 substitutes. The man then argued that, in his view, it was better to just pick from the Qianlong rankings. But that was a flawed approach. New students could also challenge their way onto one of the 3 lists. Wang Ting explained that if they only used the Qianlong list, they'd overlook key talent as it only measures raw combat power. He used Songlin as a prime example, the champion of Mo City. His beast soul, the kaleidoscope butterfly, is a pure support type. Though he's a 7-star beast general in a solo fight, he's at a massive disadvantage. He'd never crack the top 10 on the Qianlong list. But does that mean Songlin is weak? Pair him with a 10-star beast soul, and his power could rival a beast king. At that, Chunjin shot up from his seat, raising a hand. He shouted, "Director, I get it. Use the Qianlong ranking as a baseline, but don't be chained to it. After all, the competition will have team battles, right?" "Correct," he answered, pointing forward and declaring, "This is the first national tournament, and it's being broadcast live. I expect everyone to give it their absolute all. Strive to dominate." The room roared back, "Yes." A moment later, Shangguan approached Shanhe. "Mr. Shanhe, you must be pleased with this year's recruits. Mind if I take a look?" He grabbed the tablet, his eyes scanning the screen. He whistled. "Wow, this Muk Shui girl is impressive. Wait, why are you recruiting an E-rank talent?" Shanhe just told him to keep reading. His eyes widened. "Student Yuan, Beast Soul Black Lizard, Talent E-rank, Test Result, Level 10. How is that even possible?" Shanhe admitted that if he hadn't been the examiner himself, he wouldn't have believed it, especially since it was the kid's first time taking the test. "So what's the deal with him?" Shangguan asked. Shanhe replied, "Maybe he's just a genius. I can't wait to see his power after some training." Meanwhile, our main character was still absorbing energy. Hei Lang, hovering nearby, spoke in a human tongue. "He's like a statue, a monk lost in cultivation. He hasn't budged in a month." While absorbing the nuclear radiation, he awakened an S-rank skill, nuclear breathing. "Nuclear breathing?" he asked. Hai Lang explained. "It lets you exhale light particles charged with nuclear radiation, with infrared rays hitting 10.5 to 5 degrees Celsius. I'm spending 1 million evolution points to learn it," he declared. "Do it," Hai Lang replied. He thought, 1,000,000 evolution points for an S-rank skill. That's a steal. Hai Lang announced S-rank skill successfully acquired, nuclear breath. Then it added, "This month you've absorbed 25 crystals. You now have 1.5 million evolution points. This monk routine is definitely paying off," he said. "Now let's see how far these points can take my level. Spend 500,000 evolution points on body enhancement." Just then, Hai Lang thought happily, for a monster, the eyes are everything. "Got it," he said. Then the protagonist pointed a commanding finger and declared, "Boost scale armor hardness for 200,000, sharpen my claws for another 200,000, and reinforce the nuclear reactor's power for 300,000. He then stared intently at the system window while Hai Lang put its paws on its hips, shouting, "You're now top tier among beast generals. Just a little further, and you'll reach the king rank." He sighed, saying he thought 1.5 million points would be enough to break through to king in one shot. But in the end, he only managed to leap from a 3-star to a 7-star. "Maybe I was just too greedy," he mused. Just then, Hai Lang zipped over to the bag, reminding him they still had 25 crystals left. "If you absorb all of these, you could get at least 2.5 million more evolution points." He wondered if even that would be enough to shatter the barrier to beast king level in one shot. He never expected leveling up from the general rank would cost millions. He figured the higher the rank, the more insane the cost would be. Hai Lang then crossed its paws, shouting, "Hey, even if it's not enough, he could swap out the high-grade crystals for cheap ones." "Yes," he exclaimed. The goal was to finish before the Beast King training started. With a flick, he sent the crystal forward. A month later at a train station, Mu Shui waved frantically, yelling, "Yuan He." He saw them and turned to teacher Shanhe. Just why is he here? He claims to be back in town for business, and was apparently on his way to get them, to escort them to the university. "We should go." "Yuan," he simply replied, "Okay." Soon they were on the train, and Mu Shui sized up our protagonist. "So, where were you for 2 months? You ghosted all my messages." He shot back, "I was training completely off-grid. I figured you were doing the same." She grinned. "Of course I not only hit general rank, but I'm already a 3-star. Her fists tightened. 2 months ago you were a 3-star general, and now you're even stronger. It feels like no matter how hard I work, I can't catch up." He noticed her aura was incredibly powerful. Her level had clearly skyrocketed. Just then Shanhe announced, "We're here. Let's head inside." He stepped into their compartment, and Mu Shui followed her eyes wide. Whoa. This place has everything, our hero mused. A regular seat costs over 100,000, but teacher Shanhei gets a private suite. A lord-ranked master truly gets special treatment. Shanhei then said, if things go smoothly, we'll arrive by evening. The protagonist asked, what do you mean if they go smoothly? Shanhei replied, sometimes monsters clash on the tracks. We call it a beast tide. He sat on the bed, adding that, the real danger is when packs or lord-rank monsters attack the train. We even encounter kings sometimes. Our hero muttered, that sounds unbelievably dangerous. Shanhei just told them not to worry. The probability of that is extremely low. But if it happens, my job is to buy time. So you and everyone else can escape. I can even hold off an emperor rank for 5 minutes. At that, the main character's mind reeled. With teacher Shanhei's power, he can only last 5 minutes against an emperor. He glanced out the window thinking, it seems that rank is far more terrifying than I ever imagined. Suddenly a commotion. A crewman burst in shouting, Mr. Shanhei, 10 kilometers from the city. We've spotted a beast pack moving at high speed. They're on a collision course with the train. Impact in 10 minutes. The man desperately grabbed Shanhei's clothes. The teacher asked, how big is the tide? He stammered 3 beast kings, over 50 generals, and about 300 battle beasts. 2 other masters are on their way. Shanhei then turned to his students. Care to join? This tide is small. Consider it a warm-up before your training. Our hero nodded. Okay. Mu Shui clenched her fist. I'm going too. The train was suddenly encased in magical seals. Shanhe, mounting a strange vehicle, asked, know how to ride one of these? The main character replied, shouldn't be a problem. Mu Shui admitted she didn't. Shanhei took off, saying, no problem. She'll ride with you? Just keep up. In a flash, he was gone. Our hero muttered, leaving us behind. How irresponsible. He hopped on the vehicle and told Mu Shui, get on. She sat behind him asking, do you actually know how to use this thing? Not really, he admitted, but it can't be that hard. I'll learn on the go. He hit the pedal, launching them forward in a blur. He frowned, focusing. This is almost like riding a motorcycle. They quickly caught up to their teacher. The protagonist yelled, the beast wave should be just ahead right. He shouted back, I'll give the signal before we engage. If you see a beast you can't defeat, get away from it immediately. Don't waste time. This isn't practice. Your safety comes first. With that, he shot forward, crossed his arms, and roared beast soul fusion. In an instant, his body began to transform. Wolves swarmed toward him, but with a mighty swing of his new claw, he bellowed Earthclaw and unleashed a devastating attack. A massive fissure ripped through the ground, widening rapidly and swallowing the wolves before the earth collapsed upon them. The main character thought, he just split the earth. If a lord is this powerful, then can an emperor rank? Move mountains and divide seas, change the very world. At that moment, more wolves charged, and Mu Shui leaped into the fray. Fusion, he roared, charging forward as Muxue unleashed a torrent of frozen energy. The MC's claws tore through the air, decapitating the beast. His eyes then locked onto a porcupine. Razor-sharp ice shards materialized around Muxue, aimed at the new threat. Yuan, she screamed. You need to run. The porcupine charged, and the protagonist thought, this is futile. He ignited his crimson flame claw. He lunged, carving deep gashes into its hide. Muxue watched in shock, thinking, this beast is at least. At the late general rank, Yuan crushed it in one hit. What is his true power level? Meanwhile, on the command train, an operator asked Commander, should I run a diagnostic? The radar's acting up. The man behind him scoffed, acting up. How is that possible? He demanded. Those purple dots are supposed to be beast kings. Something's definitely wrong. We only had 3 kings on record, so where did this 4th one come from? The operator suddenly pointed at the monitor. It vanished, he yelled. No, wait, it feels like a beast king, with an aura-concealing ability. We have to warn the Soul Masters on the front lines now. At that exact moment, the hidden monster tore the heart from a Soul Master, its gaze fixed forward. Muxue turned to Yuan. How many general rank beasts have we even killed? He simply replied that he hadn't been counting. Maybe around 10. She suddenly blasted energy to her side as a monster materialized out of thin air. Close your eyes, or you'll get a face full of blood, the protagonist yelled, instantly attacking the creature. He ripped off its paw in one swift motion. Heilong, flying above, noted, that's a Beastmaster, the best at stealth attacks. The MC grunted. Our intel was bad. There's another one. Muxue was stunned. What Yuan stared the monster down and taunted it. You're just a cowardly mutt that knows how to hide. You gonna bark at me too? Muxue warned him to be careful as it could appear anywhere. In a flash, the beast reappeared behind the protagonist, only to have its paw impaled by the spikes on his back. What were you trying to scratch my back? He mocked. The monster let out a piercing scream as the MC hoisted it up, yelling, now it's my turn. The beast's jaws gaped wide. At the same time, the protagonist began gathering energy in his own mouth. He roared for it to taste his nuclear breath, unleashing a devastating beam of energy that scored a direct hit. The blast completely obliterated the creature. He reverted to human form, holding the beast's crystal. I wonder how much a Beastmaster crystal sells for, he mused. At that moment, Sean rushed over in total shock. How did you kill that thing? He asked. You didn't see. Sean pressed him. Tell me honestly, what is your power level now? The protagonist glanced away, replying, I just broke through to the Beastmaster rank. A 1-star Beastmaster, Sean yelled, floored. How you were a 3-star general just during the test. You've grown this much in 2 months. Yuan leaned in and whispered, Master, it's a secret, so you can't tell a soul. The truth is, I can absorb the nuclear radiation from lower-level soul crystals. Just then, Muxue ran to them shouting, Yuan, are you okay? He gave a reassuring wave. She put a hand to her chest, sighing in relief. Thank goodness. I would have been a goner without you. He told her, you're actually very strong. You just panicked and lost your composure. He looked at her saying, besides, it's your first time in a situation like this. It's completely normal for anyone to get nervous. She declared, Teacher Yuan is right. The battlefield is unpredictable, and I must work harder to not endanger my comrades. Their eyes met with a new understanding. Sean watched them thinking, these two are truly extraordinary. The sun began to set on the horizon. Sean studied the protagonist, thinking, I never expected this boy could absorb nuclear radiation for energy. A true prodigy among soul beast masters. The director was right about his exceptional talent. He then held out an item. I've collected all the spoils of war in this storage badge. Once we're at the Soul Beast Palace, I'll sell it all and give you the money. The protagonist asked. A storage badge, he replied. Exactly. Have you never used one? You could apply for one, but it costs $1 million for just 10 cubic meters of space. You're better off using that money on low-grade crystals. You can borrow the badge if you want. The MC took it. Thanks for the offer. It seems really useful, so I'll consider buying one later. After that, Sean placed his hands on his hips, assuring him, don't you worry. Our university doesn't skimp on resources for real talent. If you can break into the top 10 on the Qianlong rankings, you'll get your own private dorm room. You'll also get the chance to represent Beast University at the national level. He asked about the Qianlong rankings, and in that moment, it all clicked. A drowsy Mu Shui rubbed her eyes, asking, Teacher, this university is so loaded. Are these dorms for sharing? But that would make practice a total hassle. He just smiled, explaining the dorm was purely for rest and recovery, since students had free access to the 24-hour training rooms. The protagonist knew he'd seriously lucked out. Otherwise, his secrets would have been exposed in a heartbeat. He then added, if you really need a private room, you could just donate $5 million to the school. Our hero choked. $5 million? Are you kidding me? But Mu Shui was shocked for another reason. That's it. He stared, completely baffled, wondering, who in the world is this girl? Soon they arrived at the Mo City Beast University dorms. Approaching the door, he thought, before I conquer the Qianlong rankings, I'll make this my base. He was glad Mu Shui had decided to use the university's housing after all. Even if she was rich, she couldn't just throw money away like that. He cracked the door open, and Jia Ming popped out. Oh, a new roommate. Sweet, I'm Ming. My beast soul is an 8-winged serpent. Just a freshman, he grinned, pointing to himself. Yuan stepped inside. I'm Yuan, from Zhenhai City. And that's when Wang Jinze appeared down from the top bunk. So, you're that prodigy, the one with an E-rank beast soul. Yuan was stunned. He knows me, Jinze smirked, not personally. But I've seen your file. You're the real deal. But Yuan was reeling. He saw my file. How can anyone just access freshman records? Jinze's smile was all-knowing. He said he had his methods. There was nothing at this university that Jinze didn't have access to. Ming just sat down at his computer with a grin. He glanced over at our hero. This guy's a walking information sponge. Then Jinze, holding a bag of chips, made his pitch. I can tell you anything you want, but information isn't free. He made a little money gesture with his hands, no words needed. Yuan cut right to the chase. What's my rank on the Qianlong list? So he really is an info broker. Jinze just held up a hand. Bro, it's the first day of school. The list isn't out yet, but if you're that curious, I've got something else for you. A projection of the freshmen most likely to crack the top 10. How much? Jinze's reply was slick. For a roommate, I'll give you a 20% discount. That's 4,000 coins. Here's my account number. At that moment, Yuan thought, what a hustler. But where does he get this stuff? After paying, he opened the file. Before him was a list of names starting with Chen Kong, Awakened Beast Soul, White Fang, with the strength of a 1-star Beastmaster, then Chen Mu, with the Qingbi Demon Tree, a 9-star beast, General, Wu Shuanggu, Awakened Beast Soul, the King of Golden-Winged Centipedes, a 3-star beast, Master, then his roommate Ming, 8-winged serpent, an 8-star beast general, and Song Lan with the colorful glass butterfly, a 2-star Beastmaster. Yuan was floored. Mo City University was crawling with hidden monsters. Half the freshmen were already Beastmasters. Even the cheerful Ming was an 8-star beast general. What kind of power is Jinze hiding? Just then, a voice announced, the last roommate has arrived. Yuan's head snapped toward the entrance. Songlan walked in and gave a simple greeting. It's a pleasure to meet you all. The others felt an overwhelming pressure. Ming immediately rushed over, exclaiming, Songlan, you're this year's Mo City champion. Jinza whistled. No way we're in the same room as the champ. Our hero processed the name. So that's Songlan. He remembered the file. His beast soul was the multicolored glass butterfly, an SSS rank talent. Jinza immediately saw a business opportunity. Bro, anything you need to know, 20% off just for you. And if you've got any good intel, I'll buy it for a fair price. Ming finally cut in. All right. Enough with the sales pitch. Let's go get lunch. What do you say, Yuan? He stood up, completely agreeing. He thought, man, my roommates are no joke. One is an 8-star general, another is a 2-star master, and the last is a professional info broker. Ming then threw his arms wide. He shouted, I've dreamed of getting into this school my whole life. It feels like I'm dreaming. Jinza just leaned back with his hands behind his head. Just don't be dreaming when it's time to pay tuition. Just then, they spotted some girls, and Jinza's info mode activated instantly. The girl on the left is Yuqing Chu. Her beast soul is an S-rank snow silkworm. The one on the right is Mu Shui, with an S-rank 9-tailed snow fox. Ming stared in shock. How do you know everything in such detail? He simply replied. The power of information. Ming was totally lost. Just then, the girls turned their way, and Muxui waved her hand. Yuan, she shouted. It had been a while. He walked over, shaking Chinchu's hand in greeting. He asked what the big deal was. They literally saw each other earlier. She just laughed lightly, admitting it was true. This is Chinchu, my roommate. Our protagonist greeted her, and in that instant, Jinza let out a gasp. You two know each other, Ming demanded. Aren't you our info guy? How did you not know this? He shot back. I'm gathering intel, not playing matchmaker. How would I know their business? At that, our main character just smiled. Pointing to his friends, he said, These are my neighbors, Jinza, Ming, and Songlan. Jinza then spread his arms wide, announcing they were getting food. Are you in? Muxui smiled. Not today. She promised to grab lunch with her neighbor some other time. The MC smiled back. Okay, bye. Jinza, however, was in shock. How did you even meet Muxui? You guys look close. He spun around, eyeing him. Oh, so there's something the great info broker doesn't know. If you want the details, I'll sell them. 20% off since we're neighbors. He just stared back, bewildered. And our protagonist thought to himself, campus life was definitely going to be fun. 2 hours later, he was back to training. He desperately wanted to rest, but he couldn't slack off. The university was full of monsters. Just then, Hailong zipped in front of him, exclaiming, The energy concentration here is high. It's great for training. The MC kept his eyes shut, replying, This is just the free entry-level training room. There are paid rooms for mid- and high-level training. The energy in there must be insane. But he knew the rooms were way too expensive. Mid-level cost 1,000, while high-level rooms were 5,000. At that moment, Hailong folded his arms, glanced at the inventory and said, What a coincidence. He'd burned through all the low-grade crystals with only high-quality ones and beast soul capsules left. Our protagonist then raised a finger. Let's test it. How many evolution points do I get from one high-quality crystal? Hailang's voice rang out. Congratulations, you've received 1,000 evolution points. The protagonist stared back and said, But that's the same amount as the low-quality ones. I just blew 10,000 coins. Hailong just said, It's okay. You still have the capsule. An energy core then flared to life in his body, as Hailong raised a paw, cheering. Congratulations, you've successfully absorbed the Beast Soul capsule and unlocked a new talent. The MC looked on, wondering. A talent section in my stats. Is this a hidden parameter? Hailong quickly explained. Talent can boost your absorption speed by around 5%. Yuan checked his hand. Yeah, he's right. I feel myself absorbing energy faster. Hailong then added, plus, with this talent, you're not limited to one capsule a month anymore. You can absorb as many as you want. He frowned at the thought. Beast Soul capsules are incredible. But they're crazy expensive, 50,000 each. The next day, he sat up in bed. It's morning already. Where are those two? Jinza was already on his phone, lazily replying, They're probably in the training room. The MC's expression hardened. It seemed he wasn't the only one grinding hard. He decided to hit the Beast Soul Palace to buy more soul crystals. Just then, his phone rang. Hello. It was Shanghai. Hello, Yuan. You awake? You need to come collect your money. A short while later, Shanghai showed him the transaction. All the core crystals have been collected. Your share is 2.2 million. This much money would solve so many of his problems. Shanghai then smiled. What's more, I converted 1 million into 10,000 lower soul crystals. The crystals and the money are on this badge. You can borrow it for now. Our protagonist thanked him, thinking that Shanghai was someone he could truly trust. Then he asked Master, Can you help me with something? I want to swap the remaining 1.2 million for Beast Soul capsules. Shanghai was taken aback. That's enough for 24 of them. A 2-year supply. Why do you need so many at once? He replied. Don't worry. I know when to stop. Shanghai sighed. All right. When you have time, go to the Beast Soul Palace. You have to train hard. The Chunlong rankings will be announced soon. He put a hand on his shoulder, adding, If you get into the top 10, I'll try to get you a spot as our university's representative. Yuan nodded seriously. I understand, but his goal wasn't just the top 10. He was aiming for the very top. A little later, he was training again. Hailong flew by, announcing congratulations on successfully absorbing nuclear radiation, gaining 1,000 evolution points. This time, it only took 10 minutes. The protagonist wondered, was it because of those 5 reward capsules? He'd absorbed, making his energy absorption rate skyrocket. Even the speed at which he devoured crystals was off the charts. He admitted he had no idea why. When his teacher sent the next batch of capsules, he could finally test his limits. Grasping the crystal, the main character yelled, "Let's go." For now, the goal was to keep absorbing. They needed to get stronger. Days blurred into nights, one after another, as time flew by. A few days later, our protagonist walked in with groceries, stopping short. What's the special occasion? Why is everyone here? He knew they were usually gone from dawn till dusk, except of course for Jinza, who was always out digging up intel. Jinza finally looked up. It's the freshman assembly today. Had he been so lost in training that he'd actually forgotten? He gasped. Oh shoot, I totally forgot. Jinza just smirked. You 3 train like actual demons. Are you guys trying to break into the top 10? Ming scoffed. Get real, with my 9-star general. I'll be lucky to make the top 100. But Song Lan, with his power, he's a shoo-in for the top 10, right? He just scratched his head. Even as an overlord, my soul is a support type. I'm trash at fighting. Besides, this school is packed with monsters. I'm not so sure. At that, our MC looked at them and realized the competition this year was going to be brutal. He had to train harder. Soon, they all gathered in the grand auditorium. The air buzzed with excited chatter. Rumors flew that Principal Wang Ting himself would be speaking. He's the Beast Emperor. Him showing up proves how much the school values us. You didn't know, this year, there's a national freshman competition between all the famous universities, and the principal is taking it super seriously. He's picking the representatives himself. At that exact moment, a hand landed on our protagonist's shoulder. He jumped. Teacher Shanhei, what are you doing here? He explained. The teachers were also required to attend the freshman assembly. Then his eyes drifted to the others, asking, are these your neighbors? Jinza flashed a smile. Teacher Shanhei, it's an honor. I've heard so much about you. Our protagonist, gesturing toward him, explained, this is my neighbor Jinza. He's an information broker. Shanhei's eyebrows shot up. Information broker. He let out a soft chuckle. He's just like his father. Jinza simply grinned and thanked him. This left our protagonist stunned. Teacher, you know him. Shanhei replied. His dad is a pretty big deal. You'll figure it out soon. Ming leaned over to Jinza, asking, who is he? He answered coolly, big, fierce bear Shanghai. An 8-star Lord rank beast soul, one of the strongest contenders for the Emperor rank. Just then, a shout cut through the crowd. Look, it's the principal. Principal Wang Ting's arrived. At that moment, our protagonist glanced at a yawning Jinza, as a thought struck him like lightning. Wait, Wang Ting, could Jinza seriously be his son? That's insane. Just then, Wang Ting strode confidently to the podium and began, I welcome our esteemed faculty and students. I am Wang Ting, principal of Mo City Beast University. I am thrilled to see you all. Here, you are the first-year students of our university, and you are our future, our hope. The Qianlong rankings will soon open. You will face your first great trial. The higher you climb, the richer the rewards. Your fate is in your hands. Talent means nothing here. As long as you fight, you can seize your own destiny. The strong are meant to struggle. Mo City Beast University has the highest mortality rate, but since you all chose to come here, it means there are no spineless cowards among you. Everyone, do you understand what this means? The students roared back in unison. Yes. A short time later, the ranking list was posted. First place, Gu Awakened Soul Beast, King of the Golden-Winged Centipedes. Second place, Shen Kong, Awakened Soul Beast, White Fang. Third, Ling Hu, Awakened Soul Beast, Red Flame Tiger. Ninth place, Song Lan, Awakened Soul Beast, Colorful Glass Butterfly. Our main character scanned the list, thinking Jinza's intel was flawless. His guess was dead on. So where am I? His eyes landed on rank 312, Yuan. Awakened, Soul Beast, Big, Black Lizard. He grimaced. So low. Our protagonist realized that Mo City's Beast University was truly a den of monsters. He knew he'd only secured this rank, based on the first 10 rounds of tests. But what were the rules for the Qianlong rankings? Just then, Heilang appeared on his shoulder. I know, she whispered. Rule 1. Only someone of a lower rank can challenge someone higher, and the gap can't be more than 20. Rule 2. You can only issue 1 challenge per day, and you cannot refuse the first 3 challenges made against you. Rule 3. Each person gets 1 shot to challenge an opponent, with a rank gap of up to 100 once per week. And Rule 4. The use of illegal substances is strictly forbidden. Weapons must be appropriate for their rank. The 5th rule, if a fighter admits defeat, or can no longer continue, the duel ends immediately. He then folded his arms, adding that, from their current standing, it would take about 16 days to claim the top spot. But Yuan calculated. with the weekly challenge allowing a 100-rank jump he could slash that time in half. Just then, a nearby voice cut in. Where the hell is Gu? Did he really snatch first place? The second the list dropped. His friend scoffed. If he holds that spot for 7 days, then I'll be impressed. A girl added that she thinks the rankings will be completely shuffled in 3 days. Yuan moved forward, thinking indeed. Everyone's gunning for a higher spot. This tension. It's making it impossible to focus on my training. Meanwhile, Ming observed Yuan is strange, training so calmly at a time like this. Jinza said he offered to buy intel from him for 1 million, but was flatly refused. He recalled Yuan's condition when he reaches the peak of the Changlong ranks. Only then can they discuss price and information. Jinza realized his true goal was to conquer the #1 spot. What kind of monstrous power is he hiding? Then Heilong roared. The capsules from Shanhei are here, all 24 of them. Is he going to take them all at once? I'll try them in batches, Yuan said, popping 10 into his mouth. His body began to glow as Heilong yelled. Successful absorption. Talent boosted by 1. Gained 10 talent points. My absorption speed has definitely increased, Yuan thought. He then dumped the stones from his bag, deciding to check if his crystal fusion speed had also improved. The very next second, he focused his energy. 7 minutes later, Heilong's voice boomed. Congratulations. Successful absorption of nuclear radiation gained 1,000 evolution points. 7 minutes, down from the usual 10. Yuan smirked and clenched his fist. My guess was right, the absorption efficiency has skyrocketed. Suddenly, his phone rang. He answered the call. I'm listening. It was Shanhei. Yuan. In 10 minutes, Gu and Linghu are dueling in Arena 3. You have to hurry, Yuan exclaimed in shock. Rank 1 is fighting Rank 3. I'll be right there, soon at Mo City Beast University's Arena number 3. The stands were packed. Shanhei waved his hand wildly. Yuan, over here. He spotted him, and walked over. Chang'an, hands on his hips, smirked. Shanhei, you treat this kid like a treasure, even bringing him to the match. Why don't you just tie him to your hip? Shanhei shot back. Chang'an, you'd be better off helping someone than just running your mouth. He then introduced his friend, Chang'an. He's one of the teachers. Yuan bowed. So this is Yuan Chang, An asked. The one Shanhe never shuts up about. Hasn't he chosen a mentor yet? He should just become my disciple, Shanhei shouted back indignantly. I invited him to watch, not for you to poach students. Turning to Yuan, he asked. Anyway, between these two, who has a better shot at winning? Shanhe frowned and answered. How should I know? I'm not familiar with them. Chang'an then looked to Yuan. What do you think? I don't know them either, he replied. Suddenly, a roar erupted. They're out. Look, that's Linghu rank 3. And opposite him is Gu rank 1, the referee announced. This match is between rank 3 Linghu and rank 1 Gu. The Chonglong ranking match begins. Gu crossed his arms, smirking. You challenged me first. Thought I'd get scared. Linghu roared back. First place is mine, slamming his fist into his palm. Gu just grinned. Is that so? Then I'll have to teach you a lesson for being so overconfident. Beast Soul Fusion. In a flash, his body transformed. Yuan's eyes narrowed. The Triple S rank, Golden-Winged Centipede King. That overwhelming presence. He's at least a beast master. Linghu's lips curled into a smile. Looks like I have a real opponent. I've been waiting for this beast soul fusion. In an instant, his body also changed, and Yuan thought, Linghu is also a beast master. Who will win this? Chang'an exclaimed from the sidelines. These kids are bursting with energy. At their age, I could only dream of having such strength. Shanhe agreed. They've really raised the bar. This year's freshmen are a different breed, each one more monstrous than the last. Down in the arena, Linghu unleashed a powerful stream of fire from his mouth. Gu simply charged forward, asking, Is that the best you can do? Linghu spread his claws wide, roaring, Don't get cocky, I will take first place. He lunged at Gu, claws out, but Gu instantly ripped off his paw. Our hero saw it clearly. Lingwu's red flame tiger outclassed its foe in power, speed, and agility. It seemed even Gu couldn't dodge that. But Chang'an noted Lingwu's cautious style, probing from afar. Then he'd rush in for a surprise strike. Shanghe was impressed. This guy's combat sense is insane. Chang'an then questioned if Gu truly deserved his #1 rank in Qianlong. Shanghe turned to Yuan. Intense, isn't it? The battle for the top is going to be brutal. Chang'an mused. With an E-rank beast, Seoul even getting into university is a struggle. But aiming for #1, isn't that arrogant? Just then, Yuan whispered, It's a trap. Chang'an whipped around. What? Yuan explained. Lingwu had walked right into Gu's trap. Chang'an was stunned. How could he know that? Just then, Lingwu went for the final blow, but froze. Gu had already grabbed him from behind. Get off me, he roared, erupting in flames. But Gu, in response, unleashed a devastating energy beam from his mouth, blasting Lingwu head-on. In that instant, Chang'an stared at Yuan, shocked. He really did trap him. How did you know? Yuan simply replied. The ultimate way to bait a foe is to feign weakness and lower their guard. There's a reason Gu holds the top rank. His fighting instincts were never weaker than Lingwu's. Chang'an was floored. He never imagined Yuan would be this sharp. Most people miss these details. But Yuan was completely locked in, not missing a thing. Just then, Shanghai smacked Chang'an on the back and teased, "See, old man, the kids are sharper than you." Chang'an shot back, "Watch your mouth. You were just standing there." With hands on his hips, Shanghai boasted, "So what? I have a sharp disciple." Chang'an sighed. "Yeah, I shouldn't have underestimated him." Suddenly, a roar from Ling Wu. "It's not over." Ling Wu exploded with power, forcing Gu back. Then he charged, cloaked in fierce energy. He unleashed a massive strike. The crowd gasped. No way is Gu actually going to lose this. In a clash like this, Ling Wu could totally flip the script. But no, an SS rank soul alone isn't enough. His technique still fell short of Gu's. Chang'an turned to Yuan. "You think Gu's going to lose?" "No," Yuan stated flatly. "Ling Wu will lose." Chang'an pressed him. "But why? How? From here it looks like he has this in the bag." Yuan just smirked and said, "You saw it too, you were just testing me." Shanghe laughed. "Man, nothing gets past you." Yuan explained. "His attacks are wild, desperate, and the poison, it's kicking in." On cue, Ling Wu started gasping. Gu smirked. "Just give up. You're finished. Maybe if you run to the infirmary now, they can get that poison out. No guarantees though." But Ling Wu just let out a furious roar. "Never." He shot off the ground, erupting in flames for one final desperate charge. Idiot, Gu scoffed. A whip of his tail sent Ling Wu flying. Yuan watched, thinking. Once the centipede's poison hit, it was over for Ling Wu. Gu might be number one now, but tougher fights lie ahead. "Gu is the winner," the ref declared. Shanghai sighed. "Man, what a shame. If not for the poison, that could have been a way better fight." Chang'an added, "If only he'd been smarter, the outcome might have changed." Chang'an stared at Yuan. He's a rookie, but has the instincts of a veteran. It was genuinely unsettling. Shanghai then asked Yuan, "Know why I brought you here to watch?" Yuan replied, "To see the top young talent." "Exactly," Shanghai exclaimed. "You need to see where you stand. Know your rival's power and feel the drive to improve. That's how you'll reach the top. Never let your guard down." Yuan smiled and nodded, thanking him. He got the message. An hour later, Hailang flew over to Yuan asking for his take on the fight. Yuan sat on the floor and explained that Gu was without a doubt a 4-star beast master. As for Ling Wu, he was barely a 4-star, or a high-level 3-star at best. One wielded poison clouds, the other commanded devastating flames. With abilities like these, their actual combat power was leagues above others at the same rank. Hailang agreed. They had definitely earned their spots on the Qianlong ranking. What's more, he added, since Gu snagged first place, he's definitely hiding a trump card. The real test was whether Jinsei could dig up any solid intel. He had to know what were his odds against them. Our hero's reply was grim. "About 3 to 7. My chances are 3. Ling Hu's are 7. The guy has insane instincts. But in a fight to the death, my odds are slim, and that's not even counting Gu. Their souls are beyond S rank. They aren't flawless, but I must exploit their weaknesses to secure a win." Jinsei simply replied, "Understood. I'll give it everything I've got. The national competition is less than a month away, you have to make the list," Hailang added. Plus, he's sitting on 1,000,000 unused evolution points, enough to ascend to a 2-star master. The main character then passed over the crystal. "All right, back to meditating." Hailang was ecstatic. A week flashed by. Our protagonist was training when he let out a huge sigh. Just then, Hailang pointed to the system window, grinning, and said, "Whoa, you've leveled up a ton." The system window glowed. Beast Soul, a colossal black lizard now in its growth stage. Talent rating SS rank, class 1-star beast master, height 20.7 meters, weight 7,840 kilograms, attacks bite claw, attack skills daylight rank A, and nuclear breath rank S. Beast artifact the Scarlet Flame Claw, at the same level as the beast, and black scale armor also matching the beast's level. Remaining evolution points 253,000. The protagonist eyed the stats. He muttered that he'd been stockpiling evolution points ever since hitting the Beastmaster rank. He now had over 3 million. He glanced at Hailang and exclaimed, "If it weren't for that experience boost, I never would have saved up this much. So, how to spend them?" He held up 2 fingers, laying out his plan. 200,000 for scale hardness, 200,000 for claw sharpness, and another 200,000 for the power of his bite, and the same amount to amplify his nuclear breath's force and capacity. 30 minutes later, Hailang cheered, "Congrats on hitting 2 stars, Master. You still have 1.75 million points left." A faint smile touched the protagonist's lips as he examined his hand. "Yeah, a shame I didn't reach the 3rd star, but this is still pretty good." He strode to the exit. "Time to test out this new power." Hailang eagerly agreed. He'd been absent from the dorm for a week, surviving on just 2 or 3 hours of sleep. He mused. From the description, this guy sounds like a complete monster. Later back in the dorm, Jinsei asked in shock, "Why are you here?" The main character was confused. "What's wrong? This is our room." His roommate was packing, saying, "Dude, you're a certified level-up maniac. It's been forever. Stepping inside, the protagonist asked, "Where are Songlan and Ming?" His roommate's face fell. Ming and the others. They were badly injured. "I'm just here grabbing clothes for him." Songlan arranged to meet Ming's attacker tonight. He's probably training for it. Our hero was stunned. What? Why would he do that? He explained that a good-hearted person like Ming would never pick a fight. But the ranking hunters were out of control, so Songlan had to intervene. He frowned. "Ranking hunters," Jinsei sighed. "Right, you haven't heard. They're a new crew of freshmen. They use their strongest members to seize top spots, then intentionally lose to the weaker ones." The protagonist's eyes narrowed. "Explain," Jinsei continued. "First, their heavy hitters fight their way onto the leaderboard. Then they throw matches against weaker members of their own group, effectively transferring the rank. On top of that, members have to pay weekly dues to keep their spot. And if you want a higher rank, you're forced to pay way more." The main character interrupted. "Wait, shouldn't they be booted from the list? If they don't meet the skill requirement?" His roommate shook his head. "Not a chance. Their position is secure, as long as the money flows. Challenge one of their protected members, and you become their next target." Ming couldn't stand for it, so he fought them and got brutally beaten. The protagonist's voice went cold. "Is that right? Sounds just like him. And the university just allows this." Jinsei gave him a pointed look. "Did you forget? This academy values strength above everything else. Of course, no one is going to interfere." A dark thought crossed our hero's mind. "This school is even more savage than I imagined, and I'm starting to like it." He then asked who was behind the organization. It had to be someone powerful. The answer was chilling. The creator of the Hunter Group is Gu. The main character froze. "Gu, isn't he number one on the list?" Jinsei shook his head. "Not for a long time. Among the current freshmen, he's considered a hidden threat now. You need to see the ranking table." With that, he held out his phone. The screen displayed the leaderboard updated today at 3:03 p.m. First place, Chu Tianyi, Beast Soul, Black-Headed Golden Eagle. In second place, Shen Kang, with the white-fanged Squirrel Beast Soul. Third, Guo, and his golden-winged King Centipede. Fourth place is Li Qingnan, wielding the dark purple monstrous vine. In fifth, Linghu with the red flame tiger. And all the way down at 18th, Song Wan with the multicolored glass butterfly beast soul. He explains that the day after the rankings dropped, Gu established his own hunter organization. He pulled in Qingnan Shenkang and a slew of other top-tier fighters, promising them insane perks. A third of the student body has already joined his crew, but guys like Ling Wu and Tian Yi refused. The main character mused Ling Wu, and Wu never got along. Tian Yi is the real surprise, though. No one knew how strong he was. Jinza smirked, saying it only took him 4 days to claim his spot. The crazy part is countless hunters challenged him, but they were all just stepping stones, which seriously ticked Gu off. Our protagonist chuckled, asking, "So Wu Xuan lost to him too, huh?" Jinza confirmed it, explaining their souls are a bad matchup. Tian Yi can fly, making it impossible for a poison spit to land. That's how he secured the win. He promises to send a video of the fight later, but now he has to dash to see Ming. The main character says he'll come along. A short while later, Ming is laid up in a hospital bed wrapped in bandages. He looks away, asking Yuan, "What are you doing here?" Our hero steps closer with a basket of fruit, asking him how he's holding up. Ming just replies that he's fine. But Jinza throws his hands up, exclaiming, "Fine," where Ming apologizes, then asks, "By the way, isn't Songlan's match with that guy tonight?" He scowled, confirming, "Yeah, tonight. Arena 7. Ming's body trembled as he said it was all his fault. If he had been stronger, none of this would be happening. Jinza urged him to stay still before he needed to be rebandaged. Then our MC asked, "The one Songlan's fighting? He's the one who did this to you, right?" That evening at Mo University's Arena 7, Jinza, munching on a snack, mentioned today's opponent was Yuan Lian, ranked 25th, but he's fighting ruthlessly for that rank. He hoped Songlan could handle it since Lian didn't even go all out against Ming. Our protagonist glanced at him, asking, "He doesn't seem to care about his own rank at all, does he?" Jinza agreed. It's too tough for him to climb the list, so he focuses on leveling up his intelligence network. Don't think his dad just hands him everything. He grinds gathering intel on his own to sell. His dream is to become China's #1 intel provider. Yuan noted, "Seems like even the rich kids have it rough." Jinza then looked to the sky, revealing, "To be honest, I have a brother. He's a genius, but he's at Yanjing University laying low. He genuinely wants to be his assistant. That's another one of the reasons he gathers intel." In that moment, the main character's thoughts drifted to his own older brother. He shook his head, thinking, "It's hard to even picture what kind of person my brother is." Just then, Jinza said, "Looks like it's starting." Lian strutted into the arena, smirking as he asked, "Here to stand up for that piece of trash?" Songlin crossed his arms, his gaze deadly serious as he shot back. "You're the ones who took it too far." Lian shifted into a fighting stance, pointing accusingly. "You mean for fighting that weakling?" He burst out laughing. "That's Rich. He's so pathetic he needs someone else to fight his battles." Songlin's fist tightened in fury. Do you hunters have no conscience? He yelled. Lian just kept laughing. Why should I care when the university doesn't? He taunted. I heard you're one of the strongest in the city, but you know what I think. You're the same kind of trash as that Ming. In the next instant, Songlan activated his fusion. Lian scoffed. Oh my god, is that your spirit? He roared with laughter, pointing at the creature. What a cute little butterfly. I'm terrified. Those shiny wings will be perfect for pinning down. Then he roared fusion. A moment later, his body transformed and the crowd erupted. Wait, why does Songlan's spirit look different? Someone shouted, I heard it's a pure support soul with 0 combat ability. How can he fight a 4-armed magical monkey? Lian's soul is a pure aggression type. Songlan is in deep trouble. At this, Jinza glanced at our protagonist. Lian is no joke. He's got the potential to break into the top 10. Does Songlan even have a chance? Who do you think takes this? He replied that it was too early to tell, but right now, the monkey has the clear advantage. Just then, Lian launched his attack. Songlan darted to the side, yelling, accelerate. But a split second later, the blow connected. Lian followed up, aiming a fist right for him, but then his eyes widened in shock. What? In that instant, Songlan reappeared to the side, shouting fury. A series of slashing attacks raked across Lian's back. Lian crashed to the ground. Our protagonist gasped, so this is the power of the glass butterfly. Jinza just smiled. Even with his soul's mediocrity, he couldn't be underestimated. If Lian relaxed for even a second, he would pay. The next instant, Lian roared, Songlan, you're dead. With that, he exploded off the ground, swinging his fist. In response, Songlan unleashed a series of precise slashes that found their mark. Jinza could only mutter, he's insane. But the main character knew better. That's not it. He's trying to push Songlan to the edge of the ring. The goal was to trap him, limit his movement, and create the perfect opening for an attack. Fighting in a confined space completely changes the game compared to an open field. Lian was trying to close the distance. He had to nullify those butterfly attacks. Does this mean Songlan is in real trouble? Just then, Lian lunged with a roar. You're out of steam. Stop running and accept your defeat, he bellowed, thrusting his fist forward. But Songlan spotted a weakness and exploited it instantly. What, I can't move, Lian yelled in shock. You'll never close the distance now, Songlan declared. This fight is already over. In that moment, Songlan dodged aside, but Lian's arm transformed grotesquely as he snarled. Even if you power up, trash is still trash. He swung the massive limb, forcing a desperate dam from Songlan. An aerial assault. In the next second, Lian unleashed a merciless storm of punches. Each one landed true. Songlan crashed to the ground. A cruel grin spread across his opponent's face. Time to torture you, a little idiot. He then leaped down from above, driving him into the ground with several more devastating attacks. I knew you could fly, Lian sneered, so I prepared an airstrike just for you. Yet Songlan began to rise. Seeing him float into the air, Lian scoffed, Idiot, are you still trying to fight? He launched another strike as Jins began to panic. No way. Where's the referee? Why hasn't anyone called the match? That psycho is going to kill him. At that moment, Lian landed another crushing blow. What a shame. A weak support soul can't protect anyone, yet you love playing hero. I hope you remember today's lesson, you moron. Finally, the referee rushed into the arena. Lian, stop. You've already won. You've taken Songlan's ranking. You are now number 18. Lian scoffed. Damn. Reverting to his human form, he waved dismissively. If you want round 2, you know where to find me. But for now, your place is in the infirmary with your worthless friend. A sharp voice cut in, Lian. Have you lost all shame? Linghu demanded. Lian turned annoyed. What's it to you, Linghu? This is between me and Songlan. If you have a problem, take it up with Gu. Linghu's face darkened. What did you just say? Do you really think I won't demolish you right here? Lian just laughed, spreading his arms wide. Are you threatening me? What a pity. That someone with a higher rank can't challenge someone below them, he sneered. Jinza gritted his teeth. Damn it. Then his eyes widened in surprise. Yuan. Stepping into the ring, Yuan's voice was calm. If it's a fight you want, fight me. Lian glared. Who the hell is this weirdo? I'm Songlan's friend Yuan. Rank 312, he stated, pointing directly at his target. And I accept your challenge. Lian threw his head back and howled with laughter. Rank 312. You want to fight me? The rules forbid it. You got a death wish or something. But our protagonist simply smiled. You're right, I can't do it now, he said. But in 12 days I will. Lian froze. 12 days. His mind raced. To challenge me in that short a time. He'd have to clear insane trials one after another every single day. He stepped forward. Since you're so confident, I'll wait. But if you fail, I'll personally hunt you down and break your bones. Yuan's reply was steady. Don't worry, I'll be there. Jinza rushed over to his friend. Songlan, he cried out. Leaning close, he heard a faint apology. I'm sorry, I lost. Just rest and get better, Yuan said gently. Leave the rest to me. He then looked toward Linghu. Thank you for stepping in for Songlan. Linghu crossed his arms. I've always hated that hunter's attitude. But seeing you step up and challenge Lian like that, You've got guts. Yuan replied, if you're afraid of everything, what was the point of coming here? He then turned to his friends. Let's go to the infirmary. They carefully lifted Songlan, and Linghu simply nodded. As he watched them leave, he thought to himself, being friends with that guy Yuan probably wouldn't be a bad thing. Later in the infirmary, Jinza asked, you weren't serious in the ring, were you? So you really think Leon is out of my league? Our hero asked, surprise flashing in his eyes. I just can't gauge your true power. You'll see it in 12 days, he shot back. The next day, at Arena 57, Jinze watched as Chen Hai stormed the arena, striking a pose with a shout. Some kid thinks he can jump 50 ranks to challenge Leon. What an absolute joke. His opponent was Chen Hai, an 8-star S-rank soul, the mutant sea snake ranked 262. Enough talk, our hero roared. Beast soul fusion. Chen Hai just scoffed. Someone's impatient, aren't they? You want a fusion? Fine. In a flash, he morphed into a massive snake hissing. You should have been more careful. He instantly coiled his crushing body around our hero, beginning to squeeze with terrifying force. Stop struggling. Just die in my embrace, he hissed. At that, our protagonist just smirked. Not a bad move. But it's not nearly enough. With a surge of power, he forced his arms outward, shattering the snake's grip. This is the power of a beastmaster. All right, let's end this. He snatched Chen Hai's head in his hand. I give up, Chen Hai screamed. The winner is Yuan, the ref declared. The crowd erupted. What? It's over already. Word spread instantly. That guy had to be overlord level. A little later, our hero walked into the room. A huge grin spread across Jinza's face. You sly dog, hiding that kind of power. Our hero raised an eyebrow. So you've decided to help me. With recon, Jinza crossed his arms. Nah, not really. But I have a brilliant idea for making some serious cash. I'm listening, our hero said, figuring a little extra money wouldn't hurt. Jinza leaned in. Dude, the story of your battle went viral. Your popularity is through the roof right now. So, I'm opening a betting pool. Will Yuan stay undefeated for 12 days or not? To prepare properly, I need to know your real power level. Our main character leaned in and whispered directly in his ear. Around a 2-star beast master. Jin Xiao leaped back his finger, pointing shakily as he yelled. No way, you're stronger than Songlan. You were totally sandbagging. He quickly rushed closer again. So how confident are you about that 12-day streak? 95%, maybe more. Anyone outside the top 20 poses no threat. Deal, I'm betting 10 million. We'll split the winnings 60-40. 60 for me, our hero asked, shocked. Isn't that too much? Of course not. You're the key to this whole thing. Sometime later, at the Mo University buffet number 2, Lian was sitting down to enjoy his lunch. Suddenly, Gu appeared at his table. Nice work. Lian glanced up, wondering what this guy wanted. I heard you got a challenger after the Songlan duel. Lian scoffed. Just some clown from the 300s. What's so interesting about that? Gu leaned in closer. I guess the rumors haven't reached you. That clown has already climbed to rank 262, and they say he's a beast master. Lian's expression froze. A beast master, he shot back. Just thought I'd inform you, Gu said coolly. Lian just replied, don't worry. He won't get anywhere near my organization. As Gu walked off, he waved. In that case, I'll be waiting for good news. A beast master, huh? Lian thought with a scowl. I can't wait to see this for myself. The third day. Noon. Arena 53. Our hero stood in the arena, his mind focused. My opponent this time. From what I know, it's the guy with the moon shadow leopard soul, rank 242, and he's known for his speed. He glanced up at the stands, spotted Jinza, and thought, he's trusting me completely. I'm even more fired up than yesterday. He recalled asking Jinza, should I keep pretending to be weak? Jinza's reply was instant. Naturally. Once the betting opens, the odds will shift. If you win too fast, we can't make any real money. So you mean a rigged duel? Of course not, he'd replied. Don't be ridiculous, it's just a business strategy. You still have to win in the end. The idea is to play them. First, we convince the entire audience that you're about to lose. Then you snatch the win, and that's how we make a fortune. With those words, he had thrown an arm over our protagonist's shoulder. His response was simple. Okay, whatever you say. Jinza had said their earnings rode on him. In the present, our hero thought about yesterday. He'd revealed his beast master level power, and Jinza had done a masterful job promoting the bets. By now, at least half the campus knew he was challenging Leon, so the massive crowd was no surprise. Just then, Shi Ying entered the arena asking, You're Yuan. What terrible luck, accepting a challenge from a beast master. He bulldozed through the students, roaring. But he wasn't about to back down. It was time to show his true power. Fusion with the beast spirit, instantly his form shifted and the protagonist transformed too. His foe smirked, thinking it'd be easy to crush a beastmaster. As a 9-star, he was more than confident. In a flash, he lunged forward, their claws clashing violently. The opponent recoiled, thinking, he's wounded. My speed is the key. Just then, the protagonist remembered what Jinza said. Time to have a little fun. He smashed his paw into the ground as his rival charged. His opponent realized, This is it, the real strength of a Beastmaster. The crowd erupted in shock. What is happening? The Beastmaster is getting overwhelmed. How will he face Leon? Just yesterday, a bet was placed. Could Yuan even win in 12 days? With this level of strength, his victory seemed impossible. At that moment, Jinzei smirked. The plan was working perfectly. The more people that doubted Yuan, the better his acting was, the more cash they would rake in. The next moment, Qi Ying landed several more hits on the protagonist's body, thinking he might actually defeat the Beastmaster. He lifted his claw for a final strike, but in that instant, the protagonist's fist slammed into his face. He was launched into a wall, cracking the stone on impact before collapsing back into his human form. The spectators stared in disbelief. He then caught the protagonist's cold gaze and thought, it had to be a fluke. There was no way he could have dodged that final attack. Then the crowd began to roar. No way, the Beastmaster is way stronger than a regular soul owner. What were you even saying? Yuan is a beast. He one-shot Qi Ying, it turns out. He was just playing around the whole time, hiding his true power. Just then, Jinza ran up to the protagonist and yelled, "Bro, perfect performance," he shot back. "Yeah, you were a regular thespian yourself," Jinzei added. "Even better. Now most people are on guard, so he doubts. They'll see through their scheme. They should just keep it going," he replied. Got it. That night, in a dark dorm room, the protagonist lay on his bed, hands laced behind his head, replaying the fight with Qi Ying. He had scored not only 2 silver treasure chests, but also a valuable beast artifact. He could just sell them and keep farming weaker opponents. Plus, he'd get a huge reward from the chests and a cut of the bets. 5 days later, the protagonist had climbed to 142nd place. Peeking out the door, he thought about the last few days. He'd run into some unexpectedly tough fighters and had to forfeit before the match even started, giving up his treasure chests. Just then, Jinzei peered down from the top bunk. He called out, "Why the long face?" They still had a shot, so he should cheer up. He asked if he had any intel on tomorrow's opponent. Jinzei tossed him a tablet saying he prepped it just for him. The screen read, Rank 32, Lei Qingming, Thunder Beast, a powerful attack-type soul form. A blue behemoth wreathed in lightning, he commands thunder with immense destructive force. He defeated Lu Chongfeng, a 1-star Beastmaster, crushed Shi Wangdao, a 1-star Beastmaster, but lost to Lian, a 2-star Beastmaster. Estimated power peak 1-star Beastmaster, possibly entry-level 2-star. The protagonist looked it over and said, "This guy looks tough." Jinzei held out his hand and declared, "Definitely." After his loss to Lian, he joined a hunting party. All the students think he's got this in the bag. He smiled, clenching his fist. When he beats Qingming, everyone will finally witness his real power, so he's closing all bets before the match. In a duel with him, he can finally go all out. The protagonist grinned back at him and replied, "Okay, it's finally time to get serious." Later, in the upgraded training room, Mu Shuai was mid-session when her phone pinged. A hologram of Qingchu materialized before her. She asked, "What is it?" Her friend replied, "Yuan is fighting Qingming today. Are you coming to watch?" Mu Shuai mused, "How strong is this guy?" Qingchu answered, "He's ranked 92nd on the Qianlong list. A 1-star Beastmaster." She repeated, "A 1-star Beastmaster." Then Qingchu threw her arms wide and said, "It seems you're not even a little worried about Yuan losing." In response, she smirked and clenched her fists, saying, "He's incredibly strong. I have total faith in his victory." Qingchu just beamed and said, "From what I see, you just have faith in your boyfriend." Mu Shuai's face flushed bright red as she yelled that he was not her boyfriend. She shouldn't spout such nonsense. "We're just from the same hometown," she explained. Right. The girl then switched topics, her curiosity piqued. "So why are you skipping the ranking battles? You could easily handle the next 50 contenders." She explained, "My master says, fighting just for prizes is pointless. First you build your strength, then you make your move." Her master must be loaded or something. Sponsoring the best leveling room monthly complete with high-level crystals, and even energy collection arrays. Intrigued, her friend promised to check it out, earning a grateful thank you from Mu Shuai. 7 p.m. Mo University Sports Zone Arena, 26. Our protagonist stood near the entrance, surveying the scene. Why the massive crowd tonight, he wondered. Jinzei across from him smirked. About half of them placed bets. The other half, they're just here for the hype. Betting's about to close, man. Give it your all. You can count on it, our hero replied firmly. At that moment, a voice boomed from inside the arena. It was Qingming. "Where's Yuan?" he demanded, scanning the area. Stepping forward from the entrance, our protagonist answered, "Right here." Qingming stalked closer. "So you're the one who threatened Leon, and you dared to claim you wouldn't lose even once." For 12 straight days, Yuan shot back. "Is there a rule against it?" Qingming's face twisted. "Of course it's allowed. Too bad that cockiness is about to get shattered. I'm putting you back in your place." Yuan's response was cold. "Go ahead and try." In a flash, both warriors activated their beast soul fusion. The crowd roared to life. Qingming is a monster. One of the strongest freshmen. Yeah, Yuan's a beastmaster, but he was totally underwhelming last time. Now everyone just thinks he's all talk. Either way, my money is on Yuan losing. I can't imagine what the people who bet on him are thinking. A smug grin spread across Qing Ming's face. Oh, by the way, I dropped 5 million on you losing this match. 5 million. On me to lose, Yuan asked, raising an eyebrow. Qing Ming sneered. What should I have bet on you to win? A slow smile formed on our main character's face. It doesn't matter. In fact, thank you. Qing Ming was floored. Thank me, for what? In the next instant, Yuan's claw sliced through the air. You're about to find out. Qing Ming could only gasp so fast. Intel said his soul was a power type. Qing Ming unleashed a defensive pulse of raw energy. It slammed into the protagonist's claw. He's only a 1-star overlord, but he moves with the speed of a 2-star. This should cripple him. But when the energy dissipated, Qing Ming stared in utter disbelief. That's it. How is that possible? He began gathering energy in his mouth, a desperate look on his face. You bastard. You forced my hand. A massive energy beam erupted towards Yuan, who simply smirked. Bad move. You left yourself wide open. Guess the show's over. With that, a blinding pulse shot from Yuan's own mouth, blasting his opponent off his feet. How can this be? Qing Ming shrieked as he crashed to the ground. The referee's voice cut through the stunned silence. The duel is over. Yuan is victorious. The audience was speechless for a moment before erupting. No way. I can't believe what I just saw. Yuan actually won. Yes, I put 200,000 on him. My gut feeling was right. A girl named Qin Shu watched in shock. He took down Qing Ming in a single blow. Even as a 2-star Beastmaster, I'd have a tough time against him. No wonder Mokshui had so much faith. Just then, the system interface Hailang appeared before Yuan. It announced his victory and the reward, a golden treasure chest. Can I open it now? He asked. Of course. Its contents are for your eyes only. The chest materialized as he willed it to open. A notification popped up. Chest opened. Acquired 50,000 evolution points. Acquired 1 Beastmaster level artifact. It was Kong Lei's Claw, a Beastmaster tier artifact. Upon impact, the claws surge with lightning increasing attack speed and adding bonus lightning attribute damage. Yuan's eyes lit up. This is way better than the Flame Claw. That was a common tier item, but this should sell for a fortune. Just then, Jinza sprinted towards him, yelling, Bro, what was that? He threw his arms wide open. That was a perfect victory, he cheered. We're going to be rich. Yuan grinned back at his overjoyed friend. Totally, he replied, but then a condescending voice interrupted. Well, so you're not completely useless after all. It was Leon. He clapped slowly. I watched the whole duel. It was amusing. Jinze glared. What do you want, Leon? He smirked. Just wanted to check on my precious roommates. You don't need to worry about us, our hero said coldly. Leon leaned in close. Oh, I'm not worried. You only have a few days left after all. He strode past, deliberately bumping Jinze's shoulder. And for the record, he added with a sneer, when I fought Qing Ming, it didn't take me nearly this long. Jinze's face darkened with fury. Is he ever going to get tired of running his mouth? The protagonist just scoffs. Let him rage. We'll see him at the end. 3 days later, Yuan's rank shot up to 32nd place. He was deep in training when he opened his eyes and sighed. He had finally achieved the level of a 3-star Beastmaster. Halon saw him and shouted, Tomorrow you can challenge Leon. Yuan simply replied, yes. His recent opponents hadn't dropped anything valuable anyway. He could already taste the epic reward he'd get from defeating Leon. The next morning, Jinza appeared with a grin. By the way, I opened a new betting pool a few days ago. Yuan glanced at him, asking about the odds on him winning against Leon. He replied, 1-to-1 and 2-to-1. Nobody dared to bet big anymore, not after seeing his true power. The potential payout was low. The main character smirked. In that case, I'll bet 6 million on myself. Jinza's jaw dropped. That's the entire prize I just gave you. You're really going all in this time. Yuan just replied, they're about to see. Later at the infirmary, Ming was sitting on his bed, staring into space. He asked, surprised, what brings you here? Jinza offered him a bag. Brought some buns from Canteen 3. They're still warm. He accepted the food with a thank you. Then Yuan asked how Songlan was holding up. Ming's face fell. Not good. The wounds are deep. It's a good thing he's overlord rank, or he'd have been expelled by now. Songlan spoke up. Why did you all suddenly show up? Jinza stepped closer with the bag. We brought breakfast. You should eat. At that moment, Yuan thought to himself. The battle with Leon didn't just break Songlan's body. It crushed his spirit. His wounded pride wouldn't give him a moment's peace. He'd start to question his own abilities. No one could help him now. Only by conquering his inner demons could he find the will to live again. Jinza took a bite of a bun and declared, Don't you worry. Yuan is definitely getting revenge for you guys today. They stared at him, stunned as he yelled, He hasn't lost a single match in 12 days. It was all preparation for today. The wounded students gasped in unison. A beast. When did he get that strong? Songlan's expression hardened. Leon may have shown a few tricks, he warned, but I guarantee that wasn't his full strength. You need to be careful. The protagonist thanked him for the advice and stated with cold certainty, I won't lose. Noon. Arena, number 3. Jinza pointed ahead. Whoa, who's that standing over there? Leon swaggered into the arena, waving his hand. Yuan noticed that even Gu was present. This fight was clearly important to the hunters. Gu replied coolly, I'm just here to see how quickly he falls. Yuan met his gaze with a serious look. Leon turned to the audience, hands on his hips, and bellowed, You've all gathered here today to watch the duel between me and Yuan. You want to know who's stronger? He jabbed a finger at himself. He screamed, I'll tell you right now, I will be the winner. Then he pointed a finger directly at the protagonist. And he will be the last one who dares to cross the hunters. Gu clapped slowly and smirked. Not bad. Ming scowled from the stands. Where does he get the nerve to think he can actually beat Yuan? This is too much. Jinza grinned, putting a hand on his shoulder. Calm down, man. Just then, Linghu approached them. A lot of hunters showed up, he said. They're just trying to prove their loyalty to Gu. Mind if I sit with you? Jinza nodded. Of course. Didn't think you'd come too. Linghu replied that he'd bet 10 million on Yuan. So naturally, I'm here to watch. Jinza was shocked. So much. Aren't you afraid of losing it all? He thought to himself. This guy must be loaded. Linghu just smiled. But you're the one who organized the betting, right? You've made plenty of cash. Then you risked it all on Yuan. Jinza realized, this guy is sharp. He saw his chance and took it. Ming grumbled, just look at him so confident. Linghu noted that Gu had also been making big moves lately. He was solidifying his standing among the organization's members. After all, ever since Tianyi stepped up for Yuan, he became their #1 target. I just hope it doesn't get to him. He frowned, thinking to himself. I really want to see Gu's face when Leon loses. The next second, Leon roared fuse. I'm going to break your bones one by one until you kneel before me and beg for mercy. With those words, he pounded his fists on his chest like an animal, adding, Well, you gonna show me what you're made of? The protagonist stared back with unshakable confidence as he focused his energy around himself and roared fuse. His body transformed. Instantly, Leon lunged forward, swinging his fists, but Yuan simply raised a paw in front of him, blocking the attack. Leon's mind reeled in shock. No way, his jumping strikes are at the 2-star level. In the next instant, his fist was slick with blood. That's when he saw it. A terrifying energy was gathering in the protagonist's mouth. His mind raced. This is bad. Gotta move now. The protagonist unleashed a massive energy beam, forcing Leon to dive aside. He thought damn too fast. Another blast shot towards him. He yelled, throwing his fists up to block. Bracing for impact, the crowd gasped in unison. No way he's actually defending himself. Leon sneered. You think that little trick can stop me? How naive. He strode forward, analyzing the attack. Not a scratch. He's absorbing the blast, but he can't keep this up. Still, the protagonist didn't let up. Another powerful beam erupted, but Leon, shielding himself with his arms, continued to push forward. At that moment, Ming screamed, Leon is tanking Yuan's attack. Instantly, the protagonist fired another beam. Leon saw it coming, his fist still raised in defense. He thought it was just energy. Then a solid punch slammed into his chest, launching him back. The crowd roared. What? Ming pointed at the arena, shouting, Damn it, when did Yuan get this strong? His neighbor smacked his shoulder. He said he had no clue, but maybe he was always this powerful. Leon is completely outmatched, he yelled. Sucks for whoever bet on him. But Linghu cut in. Don't celebrate yet. This isn't over. Then from the settling smoke, Leon emerged. I must admit, Yuan, he said. You've surpassed all my expectations. He wiped blood from his lip. Playtime is over. Then he charged forward, his fist cocked back. Yuan gathered energy in his mouth again, releasing a powerful beam and thinking, an overlord with at least 3 stars is the only one who should have that speed. Just then, Leon closed the distance and struck, screaming, You must die. But the protagonist caught the blow with his paws and hurled him back. His opponent taunted, Don't forget, I have 4 arms, he smirked. Blood tastes pretty good, doesn't it? The next instant, a cross-shaped slash struck the protagonist's chest. This is just the start, Leon roared, charging in again with a punch. The blow sliced into the protagonist's tail. He still has the strength to laugh. Then claws shot out from Yuan's paw. The monkey yelled, Don't tell me that's an artifact. Leon's eyes widened. Is that fear? He deliberately let me get closer. To lure me into a trap. A flurry of devastating blows rained down, followed by the protagonist's final attack. A massive beam of energy erupted from his mouth. It's over, he roared. The light faded, and Leon was sprawled on the ground, gasping with his last ounce of strength. I haven't lost yet. The protagonist stood over him coldly. If you haven't lost, then I'll just continue. Leon struggled to get up, yelling. What do you want? He replied. To do to you what you did to Ming and Songlin. He unleashed another powerful beam from his mouth, and Leon's screams filled the arena. The crowd erupted. Yuan is so freaking cool. Leon is finally getting what he deserves. It's about time someone taught him a lesson. Those hunters are a stain on this academy. Well done, Yuan. Then the protagonist asked. Want to give up? It's your only way out. Otherwise, forget the national competition. His opponent screamed Yuan. You think you can bully me forever, Yuan shot back. Bully, I'm just acting exactly like you. At that moment, Guo interjected, Yuan, there's no need to overdo it. But Ling Hu, folding his arms, snapped back. How is this going too far? Isn't it a disgrace that those hunters hold spots on the ranking list and do whatever they please? In response, Guo smirked, and who asked a loser for his opinion? Ling Hu raged. You Guo simply added, Yuan, you should think carefully about this. Do you really want the hunters as your enemies? An intense aura flared around him, but the protagonist simply said, I believe there's a misunderstanding. Guo looked surprised. A misunderstanding, Yuan replied. That's right. I declared war on your entire rotten organization a long time ago. The spectators stared in shock as Guo roared. Do you even understand what you're saying? Just then, the referee's voice boomed. What is all this noise? I haven't called the match yet. Don't complain to me when you're disqualified for interference. The fight is not over. At that moment, Yuan thought, whoa, the ref is a master-level beastmaster. Just then, Leon staggered to his feet. You want me to surrender? He laughed wildly, then clenched his fist and shouted, Listen up, the rules are gone. Just come and kill me. I, Leon, am not afraid of death. In the next instant, a crushing blow slammed into his chest, forcing him back to his human form as he crashed to the ground. A spectator screamed. Impossible, Yuan actually won. He really did it. The referee then announced, the winner of today's duel is Yuan. In that moment, Gu's mind burned with a single thought. Yuan. He would remember that name, and he would pay. A moment later, Hailang brandished his paw, shouting. He took down a king-level beastmaster and dropped a gold chest. The protagonist thought, another gold chest, nice. Just then, his friends rushed over, calling his name. Ming grinned and yelled, Dude, I had no idea you were such a monster. Ling Yu crossed his arms, warning him to be careful that Gu wouldn't just let this slide. He's the type who will stop at nothing to get what he wants. The main character then asked who he thought Gu would send after him next. He answered with a thoughtful look, most likely it'll be Qingnan. Our hero was confused. But him weren't Gu and Shen Kang supposed to be ranked higher than Qingnan? He explained Gu leads the Sand Hunters, so he's too cautious to risk his own neck. Challenging him is almost impossible, and he would never send Shen Kang unless it was his absolute last resort. That leaves only one option, Qingnan. The main character turned to Jinzei and asked, So that's the deal. You got any intel on him? Jinzei winked, replying that he could find out. And not just about him, if the price was right. Ling Yu then held out a hand, saying they shouldn't waste time, and to just ask him. I've fought him before, Ming asked. So who won that time? Jinzei shot back. You say that like you've never seen the rankings. Ming just laughed nervously. Ling Yu threw up his hands, admitting I lost, of course. Qingnan isn't just insanely strong. His beast soul is totally unpredictable. The protagonist pressed. What do you mean by that? He asked. Have you ever heard of a berserker soul? Meanwhile, in the observation room, the director strolled in, remarking, Now, that was a truly spectacular duel. The judge spun around, exclaiming in shock. Mr. Principal, what brings you here? He moved closer, saying that he had just witnessed the entire fight. And this Yuan kid? He's got potential. The judge nodded. He's experienced, ruthless, and incredibly determined. Those are precisely the qualities most of our students are lacking. Wang Ting added that he heard his abilities had reached E rank. The judge scratched his head. That's right, but I suspect that information is outdated. The power he just showed was S rank, at least. Speaking of which, you should know about the hunters. They've been getting bolder lately, dominating the Qianlong rankings, and constantly pressuring the other students. The complaints are piling up. He replied, I'm aware, but Gu hasn't broken a single academy rule. His methods even align with our school's motto. The students may feel it's unfair, but that's perfectly natural. The world itself has never been a fair place. These kids have no idea of the pressure people face daily, and it only gets worse. Sometime later, inside the cultivation hall, a mechanical voice announced first-year student Yuan Wu. Your current rank is 18th on the Qianlong list. You now receive a 50% discount on all skill upgrades. Room A116. The procedure will take no more than 5 minutes. After entering the room, the protagonist noted, So, this is the perk. Now I get why everyone is so obsessed with climbing the ranks. Just then, Hailang shouted, Quick! You've got to open that chest. He then gazed at the loot that appeared and roared, Whoa, 50,000 evolution points. And a master-level artifact. At that moment, our hero examined the item and asked, What is this thing? Hailang explained. It's an energy-accumulating crystal. The owner's attack becomes 50% stronger once its energy is maxed out. Better yet, the owner can infuse it with their own power. You should try it right now. He responded. Okay, fuse. As his form transformed, he glanced at his paw and said, This is an impressive place for cultivation. It's like a pocket dimension. He then gripped the crystal, and energy began to pour into it. A second later, Hailang cheered, It's fully charged. The protagonist noted that charging such a tiny stone took nearly half of his entire energy reserve, over 30 minutes. Recharging it in battle will be next to impossible. Heilong said it was perfect for a pre-battle setup, and when combined with his breathing technique, it could unleash devastating damage. The protagonist agreed that's what he was thinking. He then used the storage talisman to absorb the stones, and Heilong yelled, "Absorption successful. 1,000 evolution points gained." He continued this process several times while our main character sat in deep meditation. A short while later, the protagonist was alerted by a notification sound from his phone, after which, a hologram of Jinza materialized before him. He commented, "Wow, look at you go. You're using a high-level room for your training." Our hero shot back that he had earned it fair and square. Jinza said there was no time for jokes. Just as we predicted, Qingnan has issued a formal challenge. "What's the plan? He outranks you." The protagonist stated that backing down wasn't an option. "Ever since I defeated Lian, the other hunters have had a target on my back. Turns out the guy plans to keep profiting off them." He asked, stunned. He's seriously opening the betting again. He revealed that this round, he was putting 20 million on himself. 20. He smirked. "Then I'm betting 30. The main character shouted in disbelief, "Aren't you terrified you'll lose it all?"